you feel powerless. There is hope. At Turnout Ranch, troubled teens step away from the chaos and into a clarity of nature on a working cattle ranch. Care for horses, learn responsibility, build trust, and rediscover purpose. It isn't theory, it's real work, real therapy, real healing. Families from across the country have found transformation right here, just when they thought hope was gone. If your teen is struggling with addiction, harmful online behaviors, even management, call right now and get the help you all need.
800-219-2494. 800-219-2494. 800-219-2494. That's 800-219-2494.
This important consumer alert is from the Credit Repair Hotline, a national service designed to help people improve their credit scores. Are you paying high interest rates because of your credit rating? Wouldn't you like to be able to qualify for a better car loan or mortgage rate? Would lower monthly payments give you more financial flexibility? If you're finally ready to fix your credit problem, you need to call today and get a free consultation from Credit Repair Hotline. In one fast and easy call, we can pull your credit rating and show you real solutions how to improve your credit. And again, this is part of a 100% free consultation. Learn how you can save money on everyday purchases by having a better credit rating. And it all starts with this free phone call right now.
800-413-6214. 800-413-6214. 800-413-6214. That's 800-413-6214.
Titillating Sports with Rick Tittle. Rick Tittle is a genius. The best show ever. He's so wonderful. Genius. The best show ever. He's so wonderful. Titillating Sports with Rick Tittle. Rick Tittle he's so handsome. He's a genius.
You're now listening to the Rick Tittle Show. Good for you.
Good for you. Good for you, Christian Bale. What is going on? 1-800-878-PLAY. You ain't got no alibi because you're very ugly. Once again, British Army Lieutenant Colonel Matthew Mallet, MBE, will join me on my show today at 9:40 a.m. as part of sporttalk.com. All right. We need to talk about the Stanley Cup playoffs, the NBA playoffs as well, but it is draft week. And when it's draft week, it's draft week. Wow, Rick, I can see why they gave you a show. I can see why St. Mary's College gave you a Bachelor of Arts, because you're really eloquent and smart. Draft week, it's draft week. And I have always been fascinated by the, draft day, the panic, the choking, the stupidity, the dumb luck when players fall to your lap, other people's stupidity, people feeling like tomorrow, much less next year, will never come. And so they have some incredibly stupid decisions. But also, the thing that fascinates me on a day like this are the risers and the fallers. How could somebody be rising or falling at this point? Well, there are still guys getting arrested. There's bad rumors. There was a rumor once that a guy was a pothead, and then that was 3 days before the draft, and it was probably from the team that wanted him, Green Bay. Allegedly, Green Bay Packers. The team that wanted him, and they wanted him to drop, so they, or the agent, spread the rumor that he was a pothead. Laramie Tunsil, the video of him putting on the horrific World War I gas mask, like a roach in it, and they go, look at him, he's a big fat stoner. And then some team said, yeah, he's also a big fat all-pro offensive tackle too, so what do we care? I don't think people realize the vilification of weed really not that long ago. Now there's dispensaries, and, you know, there were like, I don't know, maybe 5 kinds of weed when I was a kid, and I've never smoked anything in my life. I just haven't found the appeal. I don't see why it's so great, but whatever. I know I'm in the minority, but the thing is, then if you were like, oh my gosh, people are still in jail on weed wraps. So a lot of dominoes falling, and, maybe the biggest one was Dexter Lawrence, that stunning trade for a 10th Giants to Bengals. But this morning, this is what we care about. And Gerard McCoy, his draft stock is stinking. Stinking? Freudian slip. Sinking. And Gerard McCoy, the Tennessee, he's regarded by a lot of people as CB1. He didn't play one down last year. He tore his ACL, 15 months ago. And he went to his pro day. He ran a 4.35. And so some people are like, look, he's completely fine. And then some people look at the medicals and say, not completely fine. Because the ACL is not the issue. This is what Tom Pelissero from NFL Media reported. He said there's concern about a bone plug. The hell is that? I guess it is what it says, right? A bone plug that was used to repair cartilage in McCoy's knee. There was a defect. And there are some doctors that have seen this in scans, and they said before this guy can play football, that has to be removed, and that will require an extensive recovery time. Now, Will Johnson, in last year's draft, where a top 10 talent completely fell the first round, that was concerns about his knee, and it wasn't as bad. So McCoy might be a drafting stash, which is interesting. Now, the Steelers, as much as they've been saying Jordan Tyson, maybe they'll be going with a quarterback at 21, but Broderick Jones has suffered a setback to his neck injury. He's their starting left tackle, and they don't think he'll be available at training camp. So this late news means that Pittsburgh might take a tackle in the first round for the third time in 4 years. And that could lead to a staggering number of offensive tackles. And I've seen R.J. White pop into the first round now. And, Monroe Freeling, if he's there at 21, the Steelers might grab on him. And so this is why, and of course that quarterback would be Ty Simpson. And since Kyler Murray signed with Minnesota, more about that in a little bit, it appeared a foregone conclusion that the Cardinals will try and replace Murray with Ty Simpson, who played well during his one season as Alabama's starting quarterback. So the Cardinals have 3 overall, and trading back into the first round to select Simpson, maybe with the 30th overall pick that's currently owned by the Dolphins. And so, it happened. And then Garrett Nussmeier, the nut farmer in German. Nussmeier, peanuts in German. Nusser. He's the former LSU quarterback who was, some people thought would be a first-round pick. Now they're saying mid-round. Now they're saying, whoops, there's a cyst on his spine, which is causing persistent oblique pain, which derailed his season. So the cyst is pressing on a nerve, yikes, which hurts his oblique. Now, this has been asymptomatic since the Senior Bowl, but they say at any point that can hit again, and that has to be removed, and that's minimally invasive. I would say minor surgery is surgery on someone that's not you. So they said 2-3 weeks. That's all. And so, okay, Nussmeier was supposed to be the third guy on the board at the quarterback position. And we'll see about that. Every day, I've been avoiding this rumor, but it's just today it's persisting that A.J. Brown is going to get traded from the Eagles to the Patriots. And reportedly, the deal has been discussed, and no one wants to comment on it until after June 1st. That's when Brown's $40 million salary cap charge would be split between this year and next. So it appears the Patriots are the clear winner to land Brown, and of course a key role in the Super Bowl win a couple years ago. But the other thing is, two things. Number one, I understand that this is a salary dump. You don't want to get rid of a talent like that. But that they're also open to a team to come in and just, if you want to take on all his salary, you can have him. And one more thing before we go to the break. The former first-round pick, Anthony Richardson, people are talking about him, the Colts trying to trade him. Think about that. First-round pick. Here are the keys. Now let's trade him. Who wants him? He's a Trey Lance type of guy. Will Levis, they're trying to get rid of him. Remember him at Kentucky. Spencer Rattler, to a few schools, and I put the Gamecocks. Kyle Pitts, the tight end of the century. Kenny Moore. Kayvon Thibodeau from the Giants in Oregon. They're all trying to get, the Niners are trying to get rid of Brandon Ayuk. Who wants him at this point? I don't know. It's all intriguing. We're talking about it. What do you got? 1-800-87-A-PLAY. Come on back.
This is a true, sad story for ADT, the leader in home security systems. My favorite dog, Oliver, was stolen from our garage recently. If I had a camera system installed in my home from ADT, I would have known exactly what car possibly pulled up in my driveway and stole my little friend. If I had a security system from ADT, my dog would still be here. I called ADT this weekend, and they're coming out in a few days to install a camera and a new security system. Unfortunately, it's a little too late for me. Listen, protect everyone you love in your family. Call ADT now. Have them come out and give you a quote to install a full security system in your home. Don't let it be too late for you. Call right now.
Paid for by the Home Security Hotline. 800-361-3491. 800-361-3491. 800-361-3491. That's 800-361-3491.
With MedGuard Alert, you're never alone. You can connect with medical professionals anywhere, anytime. And now MedGuard is introducing our exclusive new Care Watch. If you need help quickly, use it from anywhere to contact medical professionals. No cell phone required. The Care Watch is not only a life-saving medical alert device, it's a revolutionary health monitoring system that checks your blood pressure, heart rate, oxygen saturation, and much more. And here's the best part. If you have Medicaid, you may qualify to get your Care Watch for free. The Care Watch is only available through MedGuard Alert. Call us right now. We have monitoring programs starting as low as $1 a day. The call is free, activation is free, shipping is free, and no contract is required. Remember, with Medicaid, you may qualify to get your Care Watch for free. Call us to get your Care Watch right now.
800-853-8931. 800-853-8931. 800-853-8931. That's 800-853-8931.
Sometimes life changes, and the house you once loved becomes a burden. Too many repairs, too many memories, too much to handle on your own. If you'd like to sell your home fast, we can help at the Home Buyers Hotline. We can help you sell your home as is. No cleaning, no showings, and there are absolutely no hidden fees or real estate commissions. We'll pay you a fair price for your home in cash. Whether you're downsizing, handling an estate, or just ready for peace of mind, call us. We'll help you walk away from your problem property in no time at all and get you the cash in your bank account with little hassles. If you'd like to sell your home fast, as is, we can help at the Home Buyers Hotline.
Call Want to Sell Your Home now for a free quote to sell your home in any condition. Call 800-950-3143. 800-950-3143. That's 800-950-3143.
People ask me, were you, you must have been the class clown. And I say, no, I wasn't. But I sat beside the class clown, and I studied him.
Rick Tittle once threw a tennis ball at a donkey.
I did, girl. Now what you got to say? Now what you got to say? 1-800-878-PLAY. Come on in and get heard. The draft. What it's all about. And in Canada, that's what it's all about. So, all we have is mocks, right? And usually in the 5, 4 are right. Sometimes all 5, maybe 3. But there's a certain point where someone throws in the monkey wrench. Like the Falcons take Michael Penix, and it's like, whoa. And everybody has to think everything. And that's why this whole big board thing, I hate so much. And Reggie McKenzie, who's with the Raiders, said it's all big board. You know, just cross out names, and when it's our turn to pick whatever round it is, the highest name. I mean, there's no way you can take thousands of players and put them in order. You can only do that with, I'll do as many as 50. I'll do it with maybe 50 guys. Are you telling me there's a big difference between 127 and 137? I remember Gruden telling me they were looking at wrist size, and he's like, what are we arguing about? And he goes, this guy has bigger wrists than that guy. So the big board, schmig board, you have to look at need. You have to identify guys who can help your team. What does your coach do? Defensively, too. What does that coordinator do? And it's like, I got you this 5'8" nickelback who's really fast. Yeah, we don't need him. What? That guy's going to be on kick team. Well, it's supposed to be a first-round pick. Yeah, not for us. Then what if this big board said, tight end was the top one there, right? And they get to the second round and they have Brock and Michael Mayer. Well, the big board says that. See, it's just stupid. But what I do like to do is a first-round mock. I need to go deeper. I need 7-round mock. And luckily, there have been a few writers to do it. And I just want to take a look at a 7th-round mock that was done by the staff at CBS Sports. They have 7 men and women that are NFL writers. And so they did a 7-round mock. And this is my team. And you see, when you read something, it looks real, right? They say, don't believe you read half of what you see. But I start to look at it. And remember, I'm the guy that gets excited about 7th-round picks. And I go, oh, this guy is a steal. He was All-American at Georgia, and then he transferred to Valdez State so he could get an extra year and blah, blah. I think it's funny at the draft when they show the highlights with that NFL music. It's always that when they show the highlights. And it's sometimes 3 schools. Like, I don't think they're going to have to go back to show Cal highlights for Nando. He had enough at Indiana. But there are some guys, you might say, oh, this guy's amazing out of Florida. Anyway, Pearsall. And they showed all these Arizona State highlights. Yeah, but he was at Florida last year. Okay. So here's the mock. I told my brother, I said, I got a good nickname for Fernando Mendoza because he's my P's and Q's and he's such a good law-abiding, nice man. And I said, Fernando Mormon Doza. And he goes, don't say that on the air. Someone will be offended. So I don't say Fernando Mormon Doza on the air. Remind me not to say Fernando Mormon Doza. Anyway, second round, wide receiver out of Tennessee, Chris Brazell. The second, because he's also a king and a pope. Third round, Keelan Rutledge, guard, Georgia Tech. Raiders right now, as we speak, 3 fourth-round picks. First, Malik, corner, Texas. Then, Jalen Kilgore, corner, South Carolina. And then, Tim Keenan, the third. Defensive lineman, Alabama. Julian Neal in the 5th round, a corner from Arkansas. It's pronounced Arkansas. I know a guy who said Illinois. I get Illinois. I kind of get it. But he always said Maryland. You know, Kevin Durant's from Maryland. Like, oh, you're killing me. 6th-round picks, Jamar Taylor, running back, Virginia. Zane Durant, speaking of Durant's. Defensive lineman, Penn State. And then 7th linebacker from USC, Eric Gentry. So, what you do with these 7-round mocks is you just these names. And I know it's hard, 32 teams, and you're going to do 7-round mocks for each team. This is why it's more than a one-man job, one-person job. The Raiders need receivers and offensive linemen. Let me switch that. Offensive linemen and receivers. In the second round, if this Chris Brazell guy is, I think he has to start. If that guy start, if he's just he'll come in sometimes as the wide receiver 3 or 4. That's why you can't miss right now. You have, this is the only way to get guys. You got to do something to get the team going and get the team going right now. And so if you really like Chris Brazell, then go ahead and draft him in the second round. But this is a huge opportunity. This is where they swung and missed so poorly last year with Jack Bash. Jack Bash had a nice Senior Bowl. But man, oh man, what a waste of a pick so far. Absolute waste. Now, Chris Brazell is 6'4", 200, and he is rated as the 5th best wide receiver. He ran a 4.37. So everything, tall, fast, wiry, strong. He looks like he could be a very good player. And if you want to know the top 10 of wide receivers right now, it depends who you talk to, but because of his health, Jordan Tyson has slipped to 3. It's Mekhi Lemon and Carnell Tate, USC and Ohio State, respectively, ahead of them. I think people will still be tempted to take Tyson before that. Then you get Casey Concepcion, the wide receiver out of A&M. I've seen him mocked to San Francisco. Then Denzel Austin at 6. Now, that's a guy. But I've had guys before, and they're like, Then Omar Cooper would be a perfect fit with Fernando Mendoza. I would love to see him. I saw him mocked in the first round yesterday. I would love to see Omar Cooper taken in the 3rd round. And then ranking at the top 10, Chris Bell, a wide receiver from Louisville. Not Michael Ball, was a Louisville running back. Jermaine Bernard, wide receiver from Bama. And Zachariah Branch out of Georgia. But once again, Zachariah Branch is in a little bit of legal trouble. So we'll see about that. But, these are names who, did I watch every play last year? Oh, I find out about these guys later. But I do watch this more than minor league hockey, college hockey, college basketball and March Madness, college baseball, and the World Series. So we can get an idea. But this Keelan Rutledge, who's mocked in the third round to the Raiders, he's a guard. And remember, they already got Jackson Powers Johnson at one guard, got Linderbaum at center. Keelan Rutledge, the guard out of Georgia Tech, 6'4", 316. If you could, he's another Senior Bowl guy, so he was there the whole time at Georgia Tech. But if you could plug his big ass in there, 6'4", 316 at guard and start. So this is why, and you don't have to start Mendoza because you have Kirk Cousins, and maybe it's best that he doesn't. But I'd rather have Kirk Cousins kind of show him the ropes than just be the insurance policy. But what I'm saying is these guys all have to start because the Raiders were the worst team in football. All right, we'll get more on that. Let's go to the shores of Blighty. Come on back.
Right now, you can switch from cable television to satellite television for free. That's right, offering free equipment, free installation, plus get a free $100 prepaid Visa card. Call the Satellite TV hotline right now. Make the switch from cable to satellite television and expand your viewing horizon. On top of free installation, for a limited time, we're offering a fixed price guarantee. With Satellite TV, you'll save money over your expensive cable bill. Plus, get of channels. And when you call right now, you can also ask about our seniors and military discounts. So make the switch to Satellite TV right now. Everybody gets free installation, free equipment, plus a $100 prepaid Visa card. Call right now and you can switch to Satellite TV and be watching everything you wanted to within the next week. And remember, installation's free, so call right now. 800-696-2871. 800-696-2871. 800-696-2871. That's 800-696-2871.
Do you want to add a boost to your sex life this weekend? Do you want to make your partner and yourself happy? Then call our special hotline now. We'll sell you those little pills that work below the belt than $1 a pill. Deliver your package in a few days, just in time for the weekend. Our pill delivers almost the same results as expensive pills, less than $1 a piece, and don't need a prescription. Ask about their buy 3 get 3 free offer. What are you waiting for? Boost your sex life and have a great time now. Less than $1 a pill, discreet delivery in a few days, and a buy 3 get 3 free offer? Dial this number and save it now.
800-245-2751. 800-245-2751. 800-245-2751. That's 800-245-2751. Paid for by the Pharmacy Shop.
Have you suffered sports betting losses? There is someone who wants to fight for you to see you get back what you have lost to those sports betting companies. Michael Watts is a prolific trial lawyer with over $11 billion in total recoveries for his clients. And now with sportsbettingclaim.com, he'd like to help you. Michael has been a leader in some of the largest and most complex cases in the country, from defective cars and tires to damaging drugs and medical products. He has always represented the rights of individuals harmed by large corporations. His efforts recently resulted in the recovery of billions for individuals who lost their properties to fires carelessly caused by electric companies and others. Michael knows that sports betting companies preyed on and manipulated consumers into losing their life savings, and he wants to make them pay. If you have suffered financial hardship as a result of online sports betting and would like help seeking compensation, please submit your claim information for evaluation at sportsbettingclaim.com. Michael Watts is focused on winning for you. sportsbettingclaim.com.
Thank you for that. Welcome back to the show. Rick Tittle with you, nationally syndicated at San Francisco and around the world on American Forces Radio Network. And it is Tuesday at 9:40 Pacific Time. We check in with our friend co-hosting the segment with me, as she does, Karen Lyle from SailSportTalk.com. Karen, how are you?
I'm doing great, Rick, and glad to have a little break in the rain here in the Bay Area, just for the moment.
All right, we have a guest. It is Lieutenant Colonel Matthew Mallet of the British Army, retired. He is joining us on the phone to talk about the spring Parhelion race that he just did down in Portsmouth, down on the south coast. Lieutenant Colonel, I understand you're at Waterloo Station, so Lambeth, just south of the Thames by the London Eye. Are you going to be heading down to the south coast yourself?
Good afternoon, team, and to all your listeners. Yeah, that's right. I'm currently in London. I can see the London Eye from my location. Currently transiting the busiest station in London, London Waterloo, and quite right on my way home, back down to the south coast.
Well, Matt, you're not quite retired yet. You're still in service. But how soon is it before you become retired?
So I've got about another 6 weeks left in the military. That'll be the end of 28 years of service to His Majesty and Her Late Majesty, and going on to pastures new in the civilian sector.
It's amazing to me that you have. Go ahead, Karen.
Go ahead. Oh, Matt, I was just going to say that that it was really quite an amazing honor to receive a U.S. Meritorious Service Award as a British Army representative. So how did that come about?
So yeah, I was very fortunate and honoured to be part of a team that was recognised for their service working with and embedded with a US organisation, the Combined Joint Special Operations Task Force. We were partnering a partner force out in the Middle East, helping them to build capacity. As I say, I was very honoured to be one of the few members of our team that were recognised with the US Meritorious Service Medal. It was a great honour.
Yeah, I love it when people get, like Audie Murphy got Croix de Guerre from France. I like it when another country recognizes that. Is really cool. But let's talk about your MBE. Did you get suited and booted? Did you go to Buckingham Palace for that?
Yeah, that's you've done your homework. So that was a few years ago now. I did some work in during our Integrated Security and Defence Review back in 2021, and again part of an outstanding team, and was fortunate enough to get singled out. But yeah, so I was invited to Windsor Castle to receive my award, accompanied by my children. And it was presented to me by Her Royal Highness Princess Anne. So it was quite the day, quite surreal in fact, but again a real honour.
Well, Matt, I had the honour of having dined with the Royal Princess at the In-N-Out, which you are also a member of with me and Dave Sandy, who introduced us. But certainly not an MBE, which is not possible for an American citizen. We would have to be something else. But I want to talk about sailing, because that's something that you do every week out of Portsmouth. And recently you just won the race that the Portsmouth Sailing Club hosted. Can you tell us about what that race was and what boat you were on and your team?
Yeah, sure. So I'll put the context. So the sailing I get involved with, it's on a Beneteau First 40.7, owned by a Royal Navy friend of mine, in fact, Adam. He kindly invites us to go and sail, which is a lot cheaper for me to sail other people's boats rather than buy my own. And the series is hosted by Portsmouth Sailing Club, a prestigious and well-known and old sailing club that goes back, a large number of years. And so we race the yacht through a series through the year. The spring series is currently ongoing, and we have an autumn and a winter series, and we also participate in events such as Cows Week, the Round the Island race, which of course is infamous in the sailing community. So the race that we just participated in, which took place on Saturday, was actually the fourth weekend in the spring series. I think I mentioned to you prior to the call that I think we might have won that, but having checked the results, we actually actually standing second in the league table overall. But it's about 21 boats that sail and race in that series. and just gets us out on the water every Saturday and Wednesday for a couple of hours. And depending on the conditions out in the Solent, it's normally 1 or 2 races. But we find it's a great way, to get together, get out to sea, and spend a day racing.
I just wondered if you ever get to the old girl, Fratton Park. Are you a fan of Pompey, or did you grow up somewhere else?
Well, I grew up somewhere else and grew up as a Charlton Athletics supporter. Although I must say I don't I don't follow soccer these days. But no, Charlton was my childhood team, and I haven't actually got down to Fratton Park yet. But you can hear it from my house when they're playing.
I remember when Clive Mendonca, he scored 5 goals in a game for the Latics, the Valiants, right?
My goodness, Clive Mendonca, those were the days. Sata Ilic was the goalkeeper, and that was under the days of Alan Kirbishley. You know your soccer.
I do know my soccer. Go ahead, Karen.
well, Matt, Rick is a sports guy. He knows all about sports, and he's been learning about sailing. I think we're on the 367th show now, Rick, so you know a few things about sailing.
Yes, I do.
Matt, you're going to go out sailing on a 10-day trip. Tell us about what's coming up.
Oh, well, that isn't actually sailing, Karen. So I'd hate you to think that I'll be on a yacht somewhere. It's not. It's actually on a cruise ship, so it's not proper sailing at all. So yeah, it's not quite as it won't be quite as arduous as being out on the Solent for 10 days or crossing an ocean on a 40-foot yacht. I'm afraid. Sorry, I'll have a gin and tonic in hand and be sat by the pool.
I had the pleasure once of going down to Winchester to all those great museums, and I've had a Gurkha on my show, the Hussars, but I got to tour the Royal Hants, the Royal Hampshire Museum, with someone who served, and it was very interesting. And then, of course, hundreds of years of history, and I went to the National Army Museum in Chelsea, obviously in Lambeth, right there. Yeah, the Imperial War Museum at Bedlam. But for you, what branch were you with, or were you in a few different areas of the Army?
So I worked in a few different areas of the Army. I started off as a communicator in what's known in the US as your Signal Corps. But then from there branched into strategy and policy development within the Ministry of Defence, which is where I've spent the last 10 years working in that area, as well as capability and acquisition. So getting out on the water, I find is a good way to get a break from the hustle and bustle of London and reset the mind and get some mental clarity.
What are the wind conditions like in Portsmouth? Is it fairly stable from one direction, or do you get a lot of different directions?
But of course, we get the North Atlantic drift that comes up through the English Channel. So, depending on what time of year it is, but predominantly you can expect a westerly, a southwesterly. And then this time of year, you're probably looking at racing conditions of force 5, up to force 5. Kind of anything above that, really. There's a call by the race committee as to whether to proceed. I mean, clearly, it's we want to test the team and test the fleet in all race conditions, but within the realms of sensibility. But typically, they're the kind of conditions that we set out to race in. And now, as we approach summer, we expect the weather to hopefully get a lot better. But there is a kind of local, locally known that the Solent has its own weather system. So whatever it's doing down in, I don't know, say Plymouth, could be totally different to what's occurring in Solent.
We have a commander-in-chief who doesn't give a toss about NATO. He's the first one ever, and with everything going on right now, especially in that area of the world, not just with the Persian Gulf, but the Hormuz and Ukraine, do you kind of feel like maybe I need to stay in this, or do you think, thank goodness I'm getting out now?
Well, of course, I have to be careful because I'm still a serving military officer, but I think at my stage in life, I've made the decision prior to all of this happening that it was time for me to leave. The Army has given me such a fantastic set of skills and experiences, and I would thoroughly recommend it to anybody thinking about joining whichever nation of military it may be, whether it's the US military or UK or anywhere else in the world. But I've thoroughly enjoyed my time and looking forward to the challenges that exist and lay ahead of me on the outside.
Well, Matt, it's going to be really great seeing you when I come out to London again. I guess we're going to possibly maybe even sail together. I'll get to experience that, depending upon boat and timing and all those things.
Absolutely, it'd be great to have you come sail with us, Tyrone. And actually, just speaking to the boat owner before we came online, he's coming on a flight about 4 hours from San Francisco, so you may see him before I do. But he's certainly looking forward to welcoming you on Yacht Challenger when you get over to the UK. We're looking forward to seeing you.
Well, he should give him my contact, and maybe he can come sailing on my boat.
I'll certainly pass that on. If he gets an opportunity, then I'm sure he'll take you up on that.
Last question for you, and this is going to seem somewhat naive, but I'm an American and I don't know. You have the Royal Marines, you have the Royal Navy, but it's not the Royal Army. Why is that?
Well, that's a long story. I'm not quite sure we've got enough time left on this call to go into that.
All right, fair enough.
But,
everybody, yes. Oh, go ahead. Yes, in a nutshell.
Well, the Royal Navy will quite rightly claim that they are the sea service, and the British Army was formed after that. And then the various regiments, corps, and cap badges that were formed after. Within that, their history is a long and potted one, and of course some interesting history between British Army regiments and the USA, which I'm sure you're familiar with.
Yes. All right, everyone check out the Spring Pavilion from the Portsmouth Sailing Club. You can go to portsmouthsc.co.uk. We've been speaking with Lieutenant Colonel Matthew Mallet, who has been awarded, has baubles and pots and pans from both the UK and the United States of America. Lieutenant Colonel, thank you so much for coming on the show.
It's my pleasure. Nice to speak to you.
Thank you, Matt.
Okay, take care.
And Karen, you're heading back over to Blighty, are you?
Yes, but I'm going to still be here for another week or so. I'll be going to the Pacific Interclub Yacht Association's opening day on the bay before I take off, because, of course, that happens every year, and it's a great event.
Is half your life being jet lagged?
You know what? I actually live between two time zones, so I was up at 4 o'clock this morning, London time, here in San Francisco. So, I don't know. I don't know what time it is. I can't tell.
Karen Lyle, SailSportsTalk.com. Karen, once again, outstanding guest. Thank you.
Well, we'll talk to you next week.
All right, I'm Rick Tittle. Get on back on Sports Byline.
This important consumer alert is from the Credit Repair Hotline, a national service designed to help people improve their credit scores. Are you paying high interest rates because of your credit rating? Wouldn't you like to be able to qualify for a better car loan or mortgage rate? Would lower monthly payments give you more financial flexibility? If you're finally ready to fix your credit problem, you need to call today and get a free consultation from the Credit Repair Hotline. In one fast and easy call, we can pull your credit rating and show you real solutions how to improve your credit. And again, this is part of a 100% free consultation. Learn how you can save money on everyday purchases by having a better credit rating. And it all starts with this free phone call right now.
800-413-6214. 800-413-6214. 800-413-6214. That's 800-413-6214.
With MedGuard Alert, you're never alone. You can connect with medical professionals anywhere, anytime. And now MedGuard is introducing our exclusive new CareWatch. If you need help quickly, use it from anywhere to contact medical professionals. No cell phone required. The CareWatch is not only a life-saving medical alert device, it's a revolutionary health monitoring system that checks your blood pressure, heart rate, oxygen saturation, and much more. And here's the best part. If you have Medicaid, you may qualify to get your CareWatch for free. The CareWatch is only only available through MedGuard Alert. Call us right now. We have monitoring programs starting as low as $1 a day. The call is free, activation is free, shipping is free, and no contract is required. Remember, with Medicaid, you may qualify to get your Care Watch for free. Call us to get your Care Watch right now.
800-853-8931. 800-853-8931. 800-853-8931. That's 800-853-8931.
This is a true, sad story for ADT, the leader in home security systems. My favorite dog, Oliver, was stolen from our garage recently. If I had a camera system installed in my home from ADT, I would have known exactly what car possibly pulled up in my driveway and stole my little friend. If I had a security system from ADT, my dog would still be here. I called ADT this weekend, and they're coming out in a few days to install a camera and a new security system. Unfortunately, it's a little too late for me. Listen, protect everyone you love in your family. Call ADT now. Have them come out and give you a quote to install a full security system in your home. Don't let it be too late for you. Call right now.
Paid for by the Home Security Hotline. 800-361-3491. 800-361-3491. 800-361-3491. That's 800-361-3491.
I hope I don't see you for a while. Getting sick of you. Take your sick ass in the hospital.
Rick Tittle can usually be found at He Baby Mama House.
Thanks for that, and welcome back to the show. We got another 2 hours to go. Draymond Green said on his pod that he doesn't think Steve Kerr is going to be back. No decision has been made just yet if he wants to return. Steve Kerr has talked about the opportunity to coach Steph Curry, and he's like, how do you turn that down? He'll be back if he wants to. Joe Lacob will have him back in a second. The Warriors owner, principal owner anyway. And I was just thinking, the rumor was today that they're going to go get Todd Golden, former St. Mary's player and assistant, and now the head coach at Florida, national champ last year, that Todd Golden, they're going to throw him more money than he can shake a stick at to come to be the Golden State Warriors coach. And I thought, if that happens, if Steve Kerr comes back, run it again. If not, blow it up outside of Curry. I would get rid of every single player. There's not one young guy on the team I like. There's not one veteran on the team I like. So once again, if Kerr wants to come back, keep Dre, try it again, see if Butler gets healthy. Otherwise, if you get Todd Golden, it's Todd Golden with Steph Curry and then 14 other guys. You might as well. Do I want to see Draymond Green playing for Todd Golden? Do you know how many times Draymond would scream in his face? Kerr, you have to have a certain amount, and you really have to be a former player. Remember, Michael Jordan punched Steve Kerr in the face one time. You have to be able to roll with it. And when Draymond would scream at Kerr and Kerr would scream at him back, that's because Draymond knew that Kerr played and had rings and knows basketball and has been in the trenches. If Todd Golden comes in, oh my gosh. I remember that first parade. Draymond was drunk on the bus with Marshawn. It's over by the Henry J. Kaiser Convention Center at Lake Merritt. And he brought Kerr on stage and he goes, "Where's my rook? Where's my rook?" Talking about Steve Kerr as a rookie coach. He got him in a headlock. I don't know. I don't know if the Todd Golden era. Well, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But Draymond does not think Steve Kerr is going to be back. You ran him out of town, Draymond. No, you didn't. All right. 1-800-878-PLAY. Let's talk on the other side.
I'm Mike Sempervive with the Sports Byline Broadcasting Network 2-minute warning. I watched this past weekend's WrestleMania, which was shoved down your throat by ESPN, and I came away with the same thought many of you also did. Only college football can benefit by expanding their season. If you listen back to this very intently, you can hear Rick Tittle throwing glass ashtrays at the producer's window, but I continue undeterred. WrestleMania was a cold experience for many people. Insanely high ticket prices, an injury-plagued card, and a mediocre build to its biggest show of the year. An overwhelming sponsor advertising everywhere, in person and on television. They even had a crypto investment guy pay 6 figures to do commentary. Bottom line is, they didn't have enough product to fill 2 days, and it wasn't the first time that's happened. They've begun to suffer the law of diminishing returns and fan burnout. In my opinion, the same thing could be said about the 82-game NBA, 82-game NHL, and 162-game Major League Baseball seasons. And I say that with the complete knowledge that the NHL is expanding by 2 games to 84 for the next 4 seasons, and it's a fait accompli the NFL will end up with an 18-game 2-bye everyone plays internationally 20-game season. Will it be good for the players or the quality of the game? No, but until the American appetite for devouring the NFL at any cost stops, the NFL ain't gonna stop. But for the 3 other major sports in North America, I've actually thought about how they can continue to get larger and larger payouts from networks and streaming entities, and it feels like contraction would actually be those sports' best friends. It's not ticket prices that can go up. You have many baseball teams playing in front of empty houses. The playoffs in every single major sport have been stretched to the absolute maximum of their credibility already, and they've sold out to the gambling industry to a degree that they really don't have a handle on, so accepting more of that money should be on ice. Should be. How do you jack up ticket prices and rights fees? You sell scarcity and the idea that everything will now mean a little bit more, which the games actually would. Will the schedules ever get smaller? I doubt it, but it's not like that hasn't been voiced. Steve Kerr tossed the idea out there for the NBA last month, and baseball commissioner Rob Manfred told the media in January that MLB has considered several modifications to their schedule, including less overall regular season games. At least that's some self-awareness, which leads me back to an entity that couldn't care less how it's viewed, American collegiate football. The $1 billion sports property whose season actually does have room for expansion. While I don't love it for the playoffs, enough people do, including fans and more importantly, the conferences, and that's all that matters. The NCAA called for the elimination of the ridiculous Week 0 pre-regular season games to now move up the start of the season, and with the professionalism of the game and the seismic changes that it's gone through, adding games is easily possible, even when having to deal with the pressure that is the National Football League late calendar year. Because the fact of the matter is, the NFL's only pipeline of talent is college. And the longer the college season goes, the more that gets prospective NFL talent ready for a long season and puts more on tape to study. Look, I know all of this was a weird thought to have while watching wrestling, but you gotta be pretty weird to watch wrestling. Now, up next in some markets, Brian Alvarez with Wrestling Observer Live. I'm Mike Sempervive with the Sports Byline Broadcasting Network. Minute warning.
Have you been daydreaming about losing weight for years? Do you just yo-yo back and forth? At Innovative Wellness Center, we have a holistic weight loss program that allows you to lose up to 20 pounds in 30 days. People are losing weight like crazy and keeping it off. It can be done from anywhere in the United States. Go to our website at www.innovativewellness.center and schedule your complimentary consultation today.
Getting together with friends to watch the game? Then you'll need American Premium Vodka. Handcrafted and pure, this is the one thing all Americans can agree on. Founder Mark Gus Scott chose the finest natural elements America has to offer, and you'll taste how great it is to be an American. Now at Bevmo, GoPuff, Hy-Vee, and Fairway stores. American Premium Vodka. This is the America we need right now. Go to AmericanPremiumVodka.com. Celebrate responsibly.
Quick question. How many calls, texts, or messages does your business miss every week? Nights, weekends, busy days. That's lost money. Create Assistance helps businesses fix the problem using AI employees that answer calls, respond to texts, book appointments, and follow up with leads 24/7 automatically. No extra staff, no complicated software. Everything runs inside one simple command center that replaces scattered tools, missed follow-ups, and manual busywork. Whether you're a service business, office, or multi-location company, Create Assistance keeps your business responsive, organized, and running even when you're off the clock. Stop letting leads slip through the cracks. Visit createassistance.ai to book a free call, or you can call or text 515-500-2224. Again, that's 515-500-2224. We look forward to hearing from you.
Rick Tittle knows his sports.
I hate that guy.
I love that guy. Oh my gosh, so fine. Rick Tittle brings home the bacon, fries it up in a pan, and then he eats it.
Ricky T in the hizzle for shizzle, biznatch.
Thank you for that. Welcome back to the show. Rick Tittle with you. 2 more hours. Hey, Wemby, Defensive Player of the Year, 22 years old. I cannot believe he's the first unanimous. Like, I guess when Wilt was playing, there was Russell. When Jordan was winning it, you had guys like Joe Dumars. And, I mean, I guess I get it. I mean, you think about Tim Duncan. There were David Robinson. There was always somebody else getting votes. First ever unanimous. When he was a rookie, Rudy Gobert, his French teammate, and he said, let him win. He deserves it, but then it's going to be my turn. Well, he was right. By the way, Dom, I'll throw this at you. When I was in Dijon years ago, hard to believe, 20 years ago now, but in 2006, I was in Dijon, and I was at a McDonald's because I'm American, and they had a poster of the French national basketball team. It had Ronnie Turiaf, who was Gonzaga and Lakers, had Tony Parker, obviously, and a Warrior starter. Do you remember who that was?
French Jordan, Mikhail Petrus.
Very good. Mikhail Petrus. Mikhail Petrus was, well, I won't get into it. Let's just say Mikhail Petrus was a very nice guy. I liked Mikhail Petrus. And no one knows who he is unless you're a Warrior fan. No one's going to remember that guy. But I remember I had a little Oakland pride. I was like, hey, there he is. By the way, if Tottenham get relegated, that means the A's move, the Warriors move, the Raiders move, and Tottenham's not in the league anymore. They won't be on TV. All I'll have left is the Sharks. That's all I want. Everybody else has abandoned me. Now we'll get word that the Sharks are moving to Portland. I'm knocking on wood right now. All right, 1-800-78-PLAY. Tune in app, iHeartRadio app, Stitcher app. I'm on YouTube. I'm on Twitch.tv, so come back.
My fellow Americans, let the message ring out that from this day forward, when you buy American, you buy the best. Handcrafted, something premium, something pure. For this is the very essence of what our servicemen and women gave their lives to protect, and by God, we shall not allow their sacrifice to be forgotten. It's time to show the world just how great American is. And we will not wait for tomorrow to come. We will stand here, this moment, together, and we will start today. Don't ever forget how great it is to be American. The America we need right now. American Premium Vodka. Celebrate responsibly.
This is a true sad story for ADT, leader in home security systems. My favorite dog, Oliver, was stolen from our garage recently. If I had a camera system installed in my home for ADT, I would have known exactly the car possibly pulled up my driveway and stole my little friend. If I had a security system from ADT, my dog would still be here. I called ADT this weekend, and they're coming out in a few days to install a camera and a new security system. Unfortunately, it's a little too late for me. Listen, protect everyone you love in your family. Call ADT now. Have them come out and give you a quote to install a full security system in your home. Don't let it be too late for you. Call right now.
Paid for by the Home Security Hotline. 800-361-3491. 800-361-3491. 800-361-3491. That's 800-3491.
Let's be honest. Most businesses don't struggle because demand is low. They struggle because their back end can't handle growth. Leads come in, but follow-up is slow. Calls get missed. Appointments don't get confirmed. And everything lives in different places. So even when everything works, revenue doesn't scale. That's a systems problem. Create Assistance fixes this by building a done-for-you CRM and automation system that captures every lead, follows up automatically, confirms appointments, and keeps everything organized in one place. And only after that foundation is built, AI voice employees get added on. If your business feels chaotic behind the scenes, it's time to fix the back end. CreateAssistance.ai and book your call today. Or you can call or text 515-500-2224. Again, that's 515-500-2224. We look forward to hearing from you.
Hour 2 of titillating sports. You thought it couldn't get any better, but it's better. Rick Tittle is back. He's so great. I can't believe how awesome he is. More sports talk, yes. Couldn't get any better, but it's better. Rick Tittle is back. He's so great. I can't believe how awesome he is. More sports talk, yes. Hour 2 of titillating sports.
Hey, check out Channel 9. Check out Rick Tittle.
All right, thanks for that. This show with you coast to coast and around the world on American Forces Network. It's great to welcome our friend back to the show, Bruce Marshall from the Gold Sheet, and we're here to talk Stanley Cup playoffs. Bruce, welcome back, and let's just start with Buffalo because they had one of the longest droughts of any professional team in North America of the Big Four. There's not a lot going on there with baseball and basketball. They just have the Bills and the Sabres, of course, that they were part of the lockout. They went bankrupt. Things did not look good, and it's taken time. And it didn't look good against Boston, down 2 goals, and then to storm back. What a third period! And you know what? I don't even care about the Sabres for that. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, well, it was just like a hurricane, the Carolina variety, but a real hurricane. Last 7 minutes or so. There's one other angle on that game one, Rick. For those of us who released that game under 6.5 goals, you're sitting nothing Boston under 8 minutes left. You're thinking this under's going to cash. 5 goals scored in the last 7+ minutes, including that Pasternak power play goal with 6 seconds left. Got that thing to 7 goals, so it was a bad beat for us who were, and it was a great win if you had the over. But I think it showed what Buffalo can do this year, how they put this together. I really thought Boston was in control of that game until late there, and then rushed by the Sabres. Boston will think that's a game that got away, and I think they still feel confident they can make this a series, but they get another chance tonight. And something tells me this series might extend a little longer than people think.
Speaking of those teams getting off to a 2-0 start on the Sens, but you're not counting Ottawa out just yet. Why is that?
I just think these first 2 games have been played very tight. And you've seen Linus Ullmark, very good in goal there. There's been very little separating these two. And we saw last night how, Ottawa, narrowly missed in that game in overtime, hitting one off the post. They're right there. These first 2 games have been very competitive, and I think Ottawa's going to think it has a chance to hold serve at home. Now, they're going to have to win at home because they're down 0-2. But the defensive series. Both goalies have been really good. Anderson can continue to play well on the Carolina side. We'll see. Brindamore also has Brendan Bussey he can use. But these first two games have been so tight, Rick, and so closely contested. I would not count them all out of this thing yet. Give them another chance in Game 3, but I don't think they're out of this series yet.
Everything, a lot of stuff held to chalk, but that Dallas game, getting humiliated at home in Game 1, might go all 7. You think, huh?
And that was big for Dallas because they have this change. And it was not just a DeBoer thing. I guess almost even back to the bonus years. But with Goetzen, I mean, they lose Game 1. I mean, this is, I think, 9 of their last 11 series. They've lost Game 1. And this is a side that's been in the Western Conference Final the last 3 years. So they have won the majority of their postseason series. They seem to start slow. Very, very important last night for them to get back in this thing. But Minnesota is a very, very tough team to play. They've got all sorts of weaponry there with Kaprizov and others. And it looks like this matchup, you've watched this, I mean, they dominated Game 1, and that was a very tight game last night. So something tells me this thing's going to go 7. I think Dallas will probably pull it out to get Game 7 at home, but not an easy series for the Stars by any means. And we've been looking at this series probably since January, Rick, like, okay, these two are going to meet in the first round because we don't think that either's going to beat Colorado in the Central. So this is the much-anticipated series and one of the rare ones that is living up to the hype.
How about that series with the Avs and Edmonton, and to win a playoff game, to win a game without a McDavid point for the first time all year was a good timing, huh?
Yeah, and for Edmonton, that was. I mean, they had to rally late against Anaheim, so that was. They looked like they were in some trouble. Anaheim's I don't know that they're sturdy enough to take this series deep, but they certainly had Edmonton on the ropes last night. I'm interested in the Colorado. You mentioned them too. The game against the Kings was tight in Game 1, and you wonder, LA has really tightened up defensively since DJ Smith took over behind the bench for Hiller. But talking about defense here, if Colorado is going to keep advancing, they have an ace in hand here in that defense. And look at Scott Wedgwood's numbers in goal. This goes back into his start in April. His goals against average like 0.5 in the last 6 April starts in the regular season. And then the Kings, it was 2-1 on Sunday. They are playing, it looks like Bednar is going to be using Wedgwood ahead of Mackenzie Blackwood. Is also got 2 goalies you can go to there, but Wedgwood has been really good lately. It looks like he's going to ride him in the playoffs. And this defense, if you don't give up any goals, you got a chance. Colorado's going to be tough to beat.
Tortorella, that boost in Vegas is still working, and normally in the playoffs you get extra minutes from your top lines. That's why I think it's interesting with the Knights, the depth when that revamped fourth line. They had Colton Sissons, and then last month they got Nick Dowd from the Caps and Cole Smith from the Preds, and now that line is playing like a top line, and it just shows you that depth does not go away in the playoffs.
You're right, that 4-line depth, and notice that really quick, and he's making better use of it than Bruce Cassidy was before he got moved out. And they still have some old hands there, and Mark Stone scored again the other night. He's consistent presence in Vegas ever since they got him from Ottawa 6-7 years ago. He's now this is I think he's now their all-time scorer in the playoffs, and they've been in the playoffs like every year, and that would be, I think, March's show we finally passed him or tied him there. The interesting thing I'm seeing about Tortorella here, Rick, is that it looks like he's going with Carter Hart as his number 1 goalie here instead of Aiden Hill. And Hart has played well, and he showed pretty well in Game 1, but he did not play much during the regular season. I think he only had 15 games, and that was his first action in a couple of years. So I'm just wondering if Torts is going to want to ride him or if he's going to end up sort of shuffling back with Hill. I think that would probably be what he's doing, but it looks like Hart is number 1 right now. This is not going to be an easy series with Utah. The man up right there, but again, Torts wins. He's now 8-0-1 since he took over as head coach, and that's the spark Vegas was expecting.
One more for you, Montreal. The Habs on the road trying to go up to love in this series, and it's interesting. The Lightning 2-10 in the last home playoff games, and you look around, and maybe Kucherov was the only gun that was playing at a high level. What's going on with that sort of monkey on their back at home?
They seem to keep finding ways shooting themselves in the foot. It was some penalties, ill-taken penalties that really hurt them in Game 1, and opening the door. Montreal, got to the playoffs last year as kind of a young team, and didn't put up a bad fight against Washington, but lost in 5. But guys like Slafkowski, I mean, you've got a hat trick from him in the opening game. Tampa Bay had better, and Cooper mentioned this, they have got to cut out these dumb penalties, and a couple of them were not smart, as he pointed out, or they're in trouble. Montreal can hurt you on the power play. I think Tampa Bay's at some risk in this series, and they had better figure out this thing at home really quick, or they might go out in the first round.
All right, what's going on with the Gold Sheet, Bruce?
Yeah, thanks, Rick. We got everything going here. We got NHL Stanley Cup playoffs. We have got NBA playoffs going. And nice to get rid of some of those teams like Utah and Memphis. Don't have to worry about them now. This is good stuff in the NBA. And, of course, great stuff in hockey and baseball, too. I actually went to a game last night. I went to watch the Angels and the Blue Jays. So, anyway, all that stuff. It's up there. All of my things now underneath the one umbrella, wagertalk.com. That's where you can find Gold Sheet stuff. Also, picks and parlays and winnersandwhiners.com.
There he is, Bruce Marshall, Gold Sheet, NHL. Always great stuff. Thank you. We'll talk to you soon, my man.
Thank you, Rick.
All right, I'm Rick Tittle. We will come on back and talk a little soccer.
It's more than a rebellion. When your teen is slipping into drugs or alcohol, when social media and pornography consume their time and their mind, when depression and even suicidal thoughts cast a shadow over your home, as a parent, you feel powerless. There is hope. At Turnabout Ranch, troubled teens step away from the chaos and into a clarity of nature on a working cattle ranch. Care for horses, learn responsibility, build trust, and rediscover purpose. It isn't theory, it's real work, real therapy, real healing. Families from across the country have found transformation right here, just when they thought hope was gone. If your teen is struggling with addiction, harmful online behaviors, even weight management, call right now and get the help you all need.
800-219-2494. 800-219-2494. 800-219-2494. That's 800-219-2494.
If you're serious about investing in gold or silver, Allegiance Gold will give you an additional $5,000 in free gold to add to your portfolio. They can help you buy any amount of gold or silver, even roll over your current IRA into gold. They've helped thousands invest millions in gold over the years, with prices that are some of the best in the industry, with fees that are fair, reasonable, and transparent. Protect your wealth with gold. Save on your gold or silver pricing when you buy from the top-rated Allegiance Gold. Invest in gold or silver today by calling Allegiance for your free gold guide. And learn about the $5,000 free gold offer with qualified purchase. Call now.
800-413-1937. 800-413-1937. 800-413-1937. That's 800-413-1937.
I am an American veteran. I'm proud to have served this country. Helping veterans is something all Americans can participate in, and it's as simple as donating an old car that you have sitting around. When you call the Veteran Car Donation Program, they'll explain how their program works, and then arrange a time they can come and pick up your vehicle for free. Running or not, it doesn't matter. They take cars, trucks, motorcycles, or vans. Show your support by donating your car and get a tax deduction in the process. Call the Veteran Card Donation Program right now. They'll come and pick your car up for free, and you get a tax deduction in the process. Call the number we're about to give you right now. Thank you, and God bless America.
800-887-1097. 800-887-1097. 800-887-1097. That's 800-887-1097.
I honestly just got the chills as you described it again for me.
You must be crazy. Use a DOG. And if you was my man, I would have been kicked you out of my house by now. This is what had happened.
All right, thank you for that. Welcome back to the show. Rick Tittle with you, coast to coast and around the world on the American Forces Radio Network. It's our pleasure to welcome to the show Kevin Sylvester, no stranger to broadcasting, and a man who has written many books for young readers. He has a brand new one that just came out last week entitled Soccerology, Unbelievable Facts and Stories About the Beautiful Game. And, of course, good timing with the World Cup starting here in less than 2 months. Kevin, welcome to the show. It's one thing to write a book, but you're also the illustrator as well. So you're a double threat, aren't you?
Yeah, those are the only threats I have. So I got to stick with the skills that the God gave me, I guess. But, yeah, and it was a lot of fun, though, because I was doing it for kids. I was able to draw Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi, Christine Sinclair as sort of cartoon characters. So it was a lot of fun to have watched soccer for a million years. Played it when I was a kid, of course, like most people who grew up in the States. And then just kind of make it as fun as I could for the kids.
Well, we're in a different time now as far as when I was growing up, the World Cup was called the Budweiser World Series of Soccer. And I remember I watched the 82 final, and Roger Twibell was asking Caro Jr. what a throw-in was. And now we have kids, you'll go to any mall and you will see the most famous players in the world, people rocking those jerseys. Just the rise of the Premier League when it's formed in '92, and it's just everything on satellite TV. And so it's different than just running around, having an orange slice, and then moving on to a different sport.
I remember, I'm, about to turn 60, and I played all through, my young years. But exactly like you said, I remember watching those World Cups with Michel Platini and players like that, and it was always grainy. Mm-hmm. You had to kind of figure out through all the haze on the TV what the heck was happening. And a funny thing has happened to me in the last few years, which is that I've written a lot of books about basketball. I used to be a sportscaster, so I have a lot of sports books. And the last 5 years, it used to be who's the greatest basketball player of all time, Kobe or Jordan or LeBron or whatever. And in the last 5 years, every kid has gone absolutely nuts for the question of who's better, Cristiano Ronaldo or Lionel Messi. Mm-hmm. The answer is Lionel Messi, by the way, but I can argue that later. But it is amazing how that has changed, that passion. And if you played and you were watching it around the same time I was, you remember that it was an activity, but it wasn't a sport that was followed the way it is today. And I think a lot of that has to do with social media. A lot of that has to do with the changing demographics of the population in North America, right? Kind of caught up to the rest of the world. But maybe that was also because of the World Cup coming to the U.S. back in the 90s, too.
I'm a little older than you, but so I know exactly what you're talking about. The other thing is, too, and as someone who's written, as you mentioned, books about basketball, and I was saying lots of books, is that when you write for kids, if you baby it, Goodnight Moon, they'll throw the book and never look at it again. But you also don't want Clockwork Orange for an 11-year-old. So how do you find that happy medium there?
What I figured out, so I've written a few of these ology books, basketballology, baseballology, and soccerology. And I figured out that what you need to do is find, sorry, I'm from Buffalo, so I lost my voice screaming in the hockey game.
How about the Sabres?
Yeah. You guys were just talking about it. Man, that was wow. But so the thing I got to do is kids love story. So what I figured out with these books is that you have to have a kind of a through line of what's going on in the history. So it can't just be a bland history of facts. So one of the things that's fascinating to me about soccer is that when I grew up, when you grew up, we probably were all told England invented the game. It was an English game. It wasn't. The current rules were sort of codified by England, but the world was ready for this sport because there were foot games everywhere. Ancient China had them thousands or hundreds of years ago. So it's a natural. What fascinated me then was that kicking things with your feet, whatever, is a very common human practice. Sports all over the place. We're doing some sort of form of that. And so when soccer came along with the rules of the game, the laws of the game, the association football laws of the game that FIFA adopted back in the early 1900s, what it did was it allowed for the game we know today to be codified. And what that meant was, if you grew up in Trenton, New Jersey, and you met someone who grew up in Brazil, you instantly knew what the game you were about to play each other was because the rules were written down. That was the genius of soccer from the British perspective. And so once I understood that, I was able to slot in, well then, what happened then were variations. So Brazil's game in the 60s was a variation on that. The Dutch open football, total football of the 70s was a variation around the rules. And that's where the national character comes in. And that's where the individual players, they're all playing, like jazz musicians, they're all riffing on a line that was set by the British. But the game itself is universal. So that's what I try to do when I write for kids, is figure out a kind of a story that they can follow so that the book itself isn't just a dry series of facts or a chapter-by-chapter trivia type book.
Yeah, every society had mob games, you're right. And football means a sport played on foot, not on horseback. And I just think about Florentine Calcio, and the British introduced soccer there, and there's still names like Milan instead of Milano, but they said, oh yeah, Calcio. And they go, no, this isn't Calcio. And they go, we know it's not, but we're still going to call it Calcio anyway. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, by the way, I got a name for your next book. How about Ology, the study of studying?
I love that.
You can have it.
You know what? The kids might go for that one, too. That'll be kind of fun.
Anyway, I interrupted you. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, it's interesting to me, too. We think about the things that we think of as or stereotypically soccer or football that weren't sort of English. Like the bicycle kick was probably used 100 years ago in Costa Rica before it ever became famous. Became famous, I guess, mostly because of Pele. But that style of play that has revolutionized the game, and it's now come back full circle a little bit because if you mentioned the Premier League, they don't play the style of play they did when I was a kid, which was the kick and chase style of play.
Route one.
Exactly. You just go, run.
And you know what? In their defense, they played in the rain and the mud, and they couldn't keep it on the floor. That's their excuse anyway.
Yeah. I have seen a lot of Premier League games in the middle of snowstorms, so they maybe have a point on that one.
All right, everybody check out this book. It's great for your kids. It's called Soccerology, Unbelievable Facts and Stories About the Beautiful Game, and maybe for adults too, by our guest, Kevin Sylvester. Kevin, congrats on the book. Thanks for coming by.
Thanks so much for having me, Rick. Have a great one.
All right, good stuff. And I remember my my cousin telling me in Reno, and he hates soccer. And it's not just. It's funny how people have a disdain for it. I can understand, be like, yeah, it's not for me. It's like rugby. It's not for me. I don't hate rugby. I'm not scared of it. I'm not rugby phobic. But there are some people who literally, they hate soccer. And my cousin is one, and he's like, yeah, I coached my son's team. And I was like, what? He's like 8 or 9 years old. I go, not only do you hate soccer, you know nothing about soccer. He goes, I know, but they needed a coach. So I just said, don't touch it with your hands. Try and get a goal. I'm like, oh, is that why the United States national team sucks? I do remember this one coach. He said, we're going to go 4-4-2 like the Italians. And I'm like, that's English. And then he said, and then I watched his team play. It was 11-year-olds, and his 4 defenders stood in the box the whole game. And I'm like, they're not outfielders. You know, it's not left field, right field. If your team has the ball down by the other goal, your back line has to be in the other team's half. If you're really, really paranoid, you can leave one guy back right on the center circle. And he's like, no, these are defenders. They defend. And it's just like, it's hard conceptually. But there's an old saying that 2 American things that can't be explained. It's funny he said jazz and baseball. And to me, baseball is very simple until I tried to explain it. And I was actually in a hostel in Berlin in 1985, and this British guy was there, and I was like, all right, you explain cricket, and I'll explain baseball. And trying to explain the force and when you can run, and it was almost impossible to explain baseball. And by the way, he did a terrible job explaining cricket as well. But anyway, Soccerology from Kevin Sylvester. Get down. Don't just check it out. Get down and check it out. And come back because we have open lines at 1-800-87-8-PLAY.
Quick question. How many calls, texts, or messages does your business miss every week? Nights, weekends, busy days. That's lost money. Create Assistance helps businesses fix that problem using AI employees that answer calls, respond to texts, book appointments, and follow up with leads 24/7 automatically. No extra staff, no complicated software. Everything runs inside one simple command center that replaces scattered tools, missed follow-ups, and manual busy work. Whether you're a service business, office, or multi-location company, Create Assistance keeps your business responsive, organized, and running even when you're off the clock. Stop letting leads slip through the cracks. Visit createassistance.ai to book a free call, or you can call or text 515-500-2224. Again, that's 515-500-2224. We look forward to hearing from you.
Every champion has a team behind them, and for thousands of families without insurance, Christ Clinic is that team. At Christ Clinic in Katy, Texas, they provide high-quality, faith-based health care to people who can't afford it, because everyone deserves a shot at health, no matter their income or insurance status. Their doctors, volunteers, their mission, rooted in compassion, their impact, over 10,000 patient visits every year and growing. But they can't do it without help from fans like you. If you ever cheered for a comeback story, this is your chance to be a part of one. Donate today at ChristClinicKaty.org and help them keep doors open for those who need it most. One gift can be the difference between surviving and thriving. Christ Clinic in Katy, where health meets hope and faith goes to work. That's Christ Clinic Katy, spelled KATY.org. Team up with them today.
This important consumer alert is from the Credit Repair Hotline, a national service designed to help people improve their credit scores. Are you paying high interest rates because of your credit rating? Wouldn't you like to be able to qualify for a better car loan or mortgage rate? Would lower monthly payments give you more financial flexibility? If you're finally ready to fix your credit problem, you need to call today and get a free consultation from the Credit Repair Hotline. In one fast and easy call, we can pull your credit rating and show you real solutions how to improve your credit. And again, this is part of a 100% free consultation. Learn how you can save money on everyday purchases by having a better credit rating. And it all starts with this free phone call right now.
800-413-6214. 800-413-6214. 800-413-6214. That's 800-413-6214.
This is special too. It's look, see, still got the old tagger on it. See, never even played it. See?
You just bought it?
Don't touch it. Don't touch it.
I wasn't going to touch it.
No, don't touch it.
I was just pointing at it.
Well, don't point even.
Don't even point?
No, it can't be played. Never. I mean,
Can I look at it?
No, you've seen
Don't
enough
look
of
at
that
it.
one.
I'm so disgusted by Rick Tittle that I find him very intoxicating.
All right, thank you for that. And welcome back to the show, 1-800-878-PLAY. We have open lines. If everyone shows up, this might be your last chance to call in. It's your last chance. No, you can always call in at the end of the hour, too. All right, we have the draft lottery odds. The bottom three have the exact same chance to get a number one overall pick, unless it's prearranged like last year. Dallas, it's the Wizards, the Pacers, and the Nets. Think about that. The Pacers, who were thinking NBA title, and now they have a 14% chance. The Nets, the Nets have no excuse. In that market, with that stadium, with that amount of money they have, and then the Wiz. Nobody beats the Wiz. Except everyone. I stayed in a hotel like a block away from that place where it's in Chinatown in Washington, D.C., and the Caps play there too. The Wiz. They should just go back to Bullets. Remember the joke? The Washington Bullets changed their name so they wouldn't be associated with violence. They are now just known as the Bullets. Now, the other teams' best chances, the Jazz and Kings both have 11.5%, and the Grizz. You know, we have a lot of names that don't make sense. The two biggest ones in history are both in Los Angeles, the Trolley Dodgers and the Land of 10,000 Lakes. The dumbest one ever, though, of course, Utah Jazz, because that was New Orleans Jazz. Calgary Flames is dumb because that was the Atlanta Flames, who commemorated Sherman burning their under the ground. But how about the Vancouver Grizzlies moved to Memphis and they stay Grizzly? I don't know. It's not for me to say. All right, but that's your lottery for you. Now, something I wanted to talk about, because I don't talk about it very much because I'm not a big fan. But Stanford now has claimed their 126th national championship in a streak that has been now going for 50 straight years. They have at least one national champion in a sport. Insane doesn't even begin to describe it. So, now a lot of these are non-revenue producing, no doubt. But 19 teams have contributed. 6 have won 10 titles. Women's tennis, 20. I remember going to the Tobby Center, and I've had Dick Gould in studio here. He wrote a book. We got along like a house on fire because he actually was talking to somebody that knew a little tennis, but he was a great guy. Dick Gould was a great coach there at the Tobby Center. I remember when my buddy was at Stanford in the 80s, I went to a match there, and he had a crush on one of the girls, and her last name was Tittle. She was Y.A. Tittle's daughter. And I said, hey, Uncle Yelberton, thanks for the free tickets. No relation. Anyway, women's tennis, 20 national titles. Men's tennis, 15 national titles. All this began in 1976. And you can write in the name John McEnroe as one of those. Men's gymnastics, 11 Men's water polo, 11. Women's swimming, 11. Women's diving, 11. Women's water polo, sport that can't be more than 20 years old, 10. Now, if you look at some of the other, I call them Pac-10 schools, when it comes to those schools like swimming and gymnastics, you throw in Cal, you throw in UCLA, you throw in USC. Those California schools always have dominant swim programs. So the most titles any Cardinal has won in a year is 6, twice, 1996 and 2018, on 3 separate occasions in 2 different sports on the very same day. 14-time Olympic medalist Katie Ledecky had a couple. I mentioned John McEnroe, 1978, Mike Mussina, the College World Series, just some very famous athletes. But none of these titles have come from the 2 revenue-producing sports in those 50 years, obviously football, men's basketball. The only national championship came with men's hoop back in 1942. We were actually talking about that the other day. But it's not just as I said, if you want to look, the second most ever, UCLA has 126, USC has 115. The only schools outside of California in the top 10, Texas has 65 national championships. Penn State has 56. At any school, a single national championship is a historic event. And yet it's been happening nonstop since Jimmy Carter was president. The bicentennial, which was a big deal. I have a feeling that, see, the bicentennial last time everybody got on board, 200 years old, and everybody was all fired up. Somehow this one's going to be ruined. You're going to have people celebrating in their own way, people wanting to leave the country. They don't want to wave the flag. The flag means something political. Anyway, whatever. All right, I'm jumping around here. I always say that, I don't always say, but lately every day there's something at the World Cup that's just sour. And somebody was mentioning that Christian Pulisic has not scored a goal for a club and country in 17 games. And he was on a real hot streak before that in Serie A. Well, how about some good news? Knock on wood, he's healthy. First of all, Haji got promoted with Coventry. Frank Lampard, who I always said is a terrible coach, good for him, proving me wrong at least with the Sky Blues. They're back in the Premier League now. The team that couldn't be relegated, of course, that's now Tottenham. The 7th richest club in the world being relegated is going to be horrible. Horrible doesn't even describe it. But how about Folarin Balogun? When he was with Arsenal, I always called him Florian. No, Folarin Balogun. And luckily, he qualifies and has chosen the United States as his national team. He plays for Monaco. Monaco has this. Monaco is so teeny. It's also a city. Monaco is the country. Monte Carlo is the city. There was a rule that if there was no male heir, it would go back to France. Now, Gracie Grimaldi, as Bud Cort used to call her at Wimbledon, Princess Grace, married in Prince Rainier, and they had some kids, and you'd always see them walking around wearing Philadelphia Eagles stuff because Princess Grace Kelly, was a Philly girl. I don't know if he has a male heir, but if he passes on, it goes back to France. But anyway, there's not a lot of room there. Their stadium, Monaco, is on the top of a parking lot, kind of like Chapman University. You can have it. It's sort of like in Madrid. You can drive, the freeway goes under the Bernabeu. It's like, how do we get a freeway? Just build it underneath. Like, that was one of the ideas for the A's, is that they were going to build a stadium on top of the freeway in Oakland. And I was like, you know what? I'll take any idea, not that one. That one seems really like it'll never happen, and it didn't. That Teletubby Stadium at Howard Terminal with the pop-up scoreboard, and I mean, that was always pie in the sky. But I get back to Folarin Balogun. Why do I mention him? 10 games, 10 goals. That's 8 straight Ligue 1 goals, and then 2 cup games. That's the second longest streak this century for any player in Le Championnat Français, Ligue 1, First League. That's their top league. And Monaco, they used to have a real history of some great players there as well. And Jurgen Klinsmann played there. We can go on. And remember the Tournoi de France before the France World Cup in 98 and 97. They had a little mini tournament at Monaco Stadium. And that's where I think the greatest free kick ever scored was Roberto Carlos for Brazil. He lined up a shot. He ran up 20 yards. He was about 45 yards out. He kicked it with the outside of his foot. It went around the wall by 12 feet, and then came curving back in just inside the post, all 100 miles per hour. That was also in Monaco. Anyway, I just want a little good news for the United States men's national team. And hopefully Balogun stays hot. Stay hot and classy, San Diego, because we need it. The vibes are just bleh. The team has been playing the last 2 warm-up games against real European teams. They played like crap. But, you've got everyone sour across the country. I know what it's like to go to Europe and have people hate me just because I'm American, but back then it was for, they had whatever reason, just because America is smug and think we run the world, because we do. But now people have real reasons to hate us. So Balogun, knock on wood, stay healthy. We need you, my friend. Come on back.
Do you want to add a boost to your sex life this weekend? Do you want to make your partner and yourself happy? Then call our special hotline now. We'll sell you those little pills that work below the belt for less than $1 a pill and deliver your package in a few days, just in time for the weekend. Our pill delivers almost the same results as expensive pills for less than $1 a piece, and you don't need a prescription. And ask about their buy 3 get 3 free offer. What are you waiting for? Boost your sex life and have a great time now. Less than $1 a pill, discreet delivery in a few days, and a buy 3 get 3 free offer? Dial this number and save it now.
800-245-2751. 800-245-2751. 800-245-2751. That's 800-245-2751. Paid for by the Pharmacy Shop.
This is a true, sad story for ADT, the leader in home security systems. My favorite dog, Oliver, was stolen from our garage recently. If I had a camera system installed in my home from ADT, I would have known exactly what car possibly pulled up in my driveway and stole my little friend. If I had a security system from ADT, my dog would still be here. I called ADT this weekend, and they're coming out in a few days to install a camera and a new security system. Unfortunately, it's a little too late for me. Listen, protect everyone you love in your family. Call ADT now. Have them come out and give you a quote to install a full security system in your home. Don't let it be too late for you. Call
Call right now.
Paid for by the Home Security Hotline. 800-361-3491. 800-361-3491. 800-361-3491. That's 800-361-3491.
Sometimes life changes, and the house you once loved becomes a burden. Too many repairs, too many memories, too much to handle on your own. If you'd like to sell your home fast, we can help at the Home Buyers Hotline. We can help you sell your home as is. No cleaning, no showings, and there are absolutely no hidden fees or real estate commissions. We'll pay you a fair price for your home in cash. Whether you're downsizing, handling an estate, or just ready for peace of mind, call us. We'll help you walk away from your problem property in no time at all and get you the cash in your bank account with little hassles. If you'd like to sell your home fast, as is, we can help at the Home Buyers Hotline.
Call Want to Sell Your Home now for a free quote to sell your home in any condition. Call 800-950-3143. 800-950-3143. That's 800-950-3143.
To me, it's like a mountain, a vast bowl of pus.
Who cares about anything else when you've got Rick Tittle on the radio?
Thank you for that, and welcome back to the show. Just got a text that says Sir Roger Moore moved to Monaco to avoid taxes. Yes, a lot of people did. Or Boris Becker, he got people ragged on him in Germany. They said, "You're not going to pay your taxes." Novak Djokovic lives down there. Tina Turner tried, and then she went to the Côte d'Azur in France. Andrea Bocelli. All those Formula One drivers, Max Verstappen, Lewis Hamilton, Mika Hakkinen, they've lived in Monaco for over a decade. And why? First of all, it's ritzy, the beautiful people, and there is zero personal income tax. There is no wealth tax. There is no property tax. And there's no capital gains tax. And so I'm not judging these people. I'll tell you what, I've told this story before, but in the time of Clinton, I'm not blaming him, but he was president at the time. I was always kind of fascinated by the stock market, and my dad was like, there's this mutual fund that you might be able to double your money. Of course, nothing's for sure. He was right. I put in $5,000, which is a lot of money to risk when you work in radio. Put in $5,000, and it turned into 10. Cashed out, I got $5,000 back. What happened? The Clinton administration has a 50% capital gains tax. 50%? So I just get my money back? Yeah. So it was completely my idea, my risk. If I had lost the $5,000, would Uncle Sam have repaid me? No. Now, there are certain countries that when you get your tax return, it tells you exactly where your tax money went. I don't know how they can do that, but they do. Can you imagine that? Rick, here's where your property tax went to. Local library, okay. Police and fire, okay. We filled some potholes, yes. And 75 hand grenades. It's okay. I'm doing my bit. Rick, what's this got to do with sports? Well, I did mention some race car drivers and Boris Becker. I think Phil Mickelson was thinking of moving there, and then he's like, "No, I can't get out of it. I guess I gotta pay up." All right, we got another hour to go. More tax shelter info on the other side. Come on back.
I'm Mike Sempervive with the Sports Byline Broadcasting Network 2-minute warning. I watched this past weekend's WrestleMania, which was shoved down your throat by ESPN, and I came away with the same thought many of you also did. Only college football can benefit by expanding their season. If you listen back to this very intently, you can hear Rick Tittle throwing glass ashtrays at the producer's window, but I continue undeterred. WrestleMania was a cold experience for many people. Insanely high ticket prices, an injury-plagued card, and a mediocre build to its biggest show of the year. An overwhelming sponsor advertising everywhere, in person and on television. They even had a crypto investment guy pay 6 figures to do commentary. Bottom line is, they didn't have enough product to fill 2 days, and it wasn't the first time that's happened. They've begun to suffer the law of diminishing returns and fan burnout. In my opinion, the same thing could be said about the 82-game NBA, 82-game NHL, and 162-game Major League Baseball seasons. And I say that with the complete knowledge that the NHL is expanding by 2 games to 84 for the next 4 seasons, and it's a fait accompli. The NFL will end up with an 18-game 2-bye everyone plays internationally 20-game season. Will it be good for the players or the quality of the game? No, but until the American appetite for devouring the NFL at any cost stops, the NFL ain't gonna stop. But for the 3 other major sports in North America, I've actually thought about how they can continue to get larger and larger payouts from networks and streaming entities, and it feels like contraction would actually be those sports' best friends. It's not ticket prices that can go up. You have many baseball teams playing in front of empty houses. The playoffs in every single major sport have been stretched to the absolute maximum of their credibility already, and they've sold out to the gambling industry to a degree that they really don't have a handle on, so accepting more of that money should be on ice. Should be. How do you jack up ticket prices and rights fees? You sell scarcity and the idea that everything will now mean a little bit more, which the games actually would. Will the schedules ever get smaller? I doubt it, but it's not like that hasn't been voiced. Steve Kerr tossed the idea out there for the NBA last month, and baseball commissioner Rob Manfred told the media in January that MLB has considered several modifications to their schedule, including less overall regular season games. At least that's some self-awareness, which leads me back to an entity that couldn't care less how it's viewed, American collegiate football. The $1 billion sports property whose season actually does have room for expansion. While I don't love it for the playoffs, enough people do, including fans and more importantly, the conferences, and that's all that matters. The NCAA called for the elimination of the ridiculous Week 0 pre-regular season games to now move up the start of the season, and with the professionalism of the game and the seismic changes that it's gone through, adding games is easily possible, even when having to deal with the monster that is the National Football League late in the calendar year. Because the fact of the matter is, the NFL's only pipeline of talent is college. And the longer the college season goes, the more that gets prospective NFL talent ready for a long season and puts more on tape to study. Look, I know all of this was a weird thought to have while watching wrestling, but you gotta be pretty weird to watch wrestling. Now, next in some markets, Brian Alvarez with Wrestling Observer Live. I'm Mike Sempervive with the Sports Byline Broadcasting Network 2-minute warning.
Have you been daydreaming about losing for years? Do you just yo-yo back and forth? At Innovative Wellness Center, we have a holistic weight loss program that allows you to lose up to 20 pounds in 30 days. People are losing weight like crazy and keeping it off. It can be done from anywhere in the United States. Go to our website at www.innovativewellness.center and schedule a complimentary consultation today.
Getting together with friends to watch the game? Then you'll need American Premium Vodka, handcrafted and pure. This is the one thing all Americans can agree on. Founder Mark Gus Scott shows the finest natural elements America has to offer, and you'll taste how great it is to be an American. Now available at Bevmo, GoPuff, Hy-Vee, and Fairway stores. American Premium Vodka. This is the America we need right now. Go to AmericanPremiumVodka.com. Celebrate responsibly.
Quick question. How many calls, texts, or messages does your business miss every week? Nights, weekends, busy days. That's lost money. Create Assistance helps businesses fix that problem using AI employees that answer calls, respond to texts, book appointments, and follow up with leads 24/7 automatically. No extra staff, no complicated software. Everything runs inside one simple command center that replaces scattered tools, missed follow-ups, and manual busywork. Whether you're a service business, office, or multi-location company, Create Assistance keeps your business responsive, organized, and running even when you're off the clock. Stop letting leads slip through the cracks. Visit createassistance.ai to book a free call, or you can call or text 515-500-2224. Again, that's 515-500-2224. We look forward to hearing from you.
Rick Tittle knows his sports. I hate that guy. I love that guy. Oh my gosh, he's so fine. Rick Tittle brings home the bacon, fries it up in a pan, then he eats it. Ricky T in a hizzle for shizzle, biznatch.
All right, sometimes, some would argue most of the time, me dumb. Hi, I'm Rick Tittle, by the way. Hour 3 underway. Because I don't know what this means for the rest of us. Because I saw a headline that Churchill Downs, in other words, the Kentucky Derby, bought the Preakness for $85 million. Huh? So, the Preakness isn't moving, but that just means that now 2 legs, the first 2 legs of the Triple Crown. This was bought, the Preakness Stakes and the Black-Eyed Susan Stakes. This was bought by the Churchill Downs IP. The executive officer, Bill Karstanjian, said, quote, "This acquisition adds one of the most iconic brands in American sports to our portfolio." There's the word. It's consistent with our strategy of investing in premier thoroughbred racing assets with long growth potential, in keeping with ownership of the Preakness and intellectual property in the racing industry. We will support efforts to fully realize the potential of a redeveloped Pimlico and Preakness Stakes within the Triple Crown and broader sports and entertainment landscape. They bought it for $85 million. So, remember, they're talking about moving the Preakness back a week so more horses can participate. And I asked Carmine Marino for Pro Wagering, our horse racing guy, and he thinks that's a horrible idea. And I thought, oh, that's a good idea. And he said, no, that's a horrifying idea. And I was like, okay. you know more than I do. So, that's fine. All right, 1-800-878-PLAY is the number to call. We will have Josh Shaw, clothing guy, at 11:55, and Chad Daniels in a half hour. Always hilarious. He's at the Punchline in Sac beginning Thursday, and he's at Cobb's on Sunday right here in San Francisco. I'm Rick Tittle, 1-800-878-PLAY. You can check me on YouTube or Twitch. Come on back.
You bought an RV, and you got an automatic discount from Progressive by bundling it with your home or auto insurance. That's great, but a serious word of warning every RVer should heed. You don't need to talk about things like dry weight or dump stations. And you don't need one of those expensive water filter straws either, because the most extreme thing most RVers encounter is a campsite without hookups. So just enjoy yourself. And Progressive's automatic discount when you bundle your RV, boat, or motorcycle with your home or auto insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states or situations.
Right now, you can switch from cable television to satellite television for free. That's right, we're offering free equipment, free plus get a free $100 prepaid Visa card. Call the Satellite TV hotline right now. Make the switch from cable to satellite television and expand your viewing horizon. On top of free installation, for a limited time, we're offering a fixed price guarantee. With Satellite TV, you'll save money over your expensive cable bill. Plus, get access to hundreds of channels. And when you call right now, you can also ask about our seniors and military discounts. So make the switch to satellite TV right now. Everybody gets free installation, free equipment, plus a $100 prepaid Visa card. Call right now. You can switch to satellite TV and be watching everything you wanted to in the next week. And remember, installation's free, so call right now. 800-696-2871. 800-696-2871. 800-696-2871. That's 800-696-2871.
Have you suffered sports betting losses? There is someone who wants to fight for you to see you get back what you have lost to sports betting companies. Michael Watts is a perfect trial lawyer with over $11 billion in total recovery for his clients. And now with sportsbettingclaim.com, he'd like to help you. Michael has been a leader in some of the largest and most complex cases in the country, from defective cars and tires to damaging drugs and medical products. He has always represented the rights of individuals harmed by large corporations. His efforts recently resulted in the recovery of billions for individuals who lost their properties to fires carelessly caused by electric companies and others. Michael knows that sports betting companies preyed on and manipulated consumers into losing their life savings, and he wants to make them pay. If you have suffered financial hardship as a result of online sports betting and would like help seeking compensation, please submit your claim information for evaluation at sportsbettingclaim.com. Michael Watts is focused on winning for you. sportsbettingclaim.com.
At Kohl's, spring style starts with the season's best shoe sale and continues with 15% off the rest of your looks. But with great outfits from Kohl's, what happens next is unexpected. Strangers ask where you shop. The breeze feels like it's blowing just for you. Your kid goes for photos willingly. Yep, spring outfits can do that kind of thing. Find yours at Kohl's and Kohl's.com. Select styles offers end April 26th. Some exclusions apply. See Kohl's.com for details.
Titillating Sports with Rick Tittle. Rick Tittle is a genius, the best show ever. He's so wonderful, genius, the best show ever. He's so wonderful. Titillating Sports with Rick Tittle. Rick Tittle he's so handsome, he's a genius.
I am so excited to be back on the Rick Tittle Show.
All right, thank you for that. And open lines at 1-800-878-7529. So, as I was saying, these pictures of Mike Vrabel and Diana Rossini, apparently she's no longer at the Athletic. They've moved on from her with the controversy. And I said it looks like nothing, but even if it is, it's none of our business. That's not how it works nowadays. Not with celebrities. I bring it up because Vrabel has just made some public comments. Finally, there was a press conference. He thanked reporters for their patience, and he was describing a personal and private manner, and he said he could have addressed the matter soon, but he wanted to speak with his players before he spoke to reporters, and he said he spoke to the team very candidly, and he does not want to take away from the draft. And so this is why they made him talk today. They did not want people talking about this at the draft, at least not speculating. Vrabel said, I've had some difficult conversations with people that I care about, with my family, the organization, the coaches, the players. Those have been positive and productive. We believe in order to be successful on and off the field, you have to make good decisions. That includes me. That starts with me. We never want our actions to negatively affect the team. We never want to be the cause of a distraction. These are comments and questions that I've answered for the team, and with the team, we'll keep those private and to ourselves. I care deeply about this football team, and I'm excited to coach them. I also know that I'm going to attack each day with humility and focus. And what I can promise you is that my family, this organization, the team, the staff, the coaches, everybody, our fans, most importantly, will get the best version of me going forward. And that's what I know, and I'm excited to do that. I wanted to address this, and thank you for your patience in dealing with a private and personal manner. Okay, he didn't say anything. Now, I'm not curious. What I'm doing right now is just reporting what he said. But honestly, just as a talk show host, I find the topic really stupid because I'm not titillated by people cheating on their spouses. I'm not titillated by speculation. I'm not titillated if they were both single and they were together. You know, I might be like, oh, those two? Oh, okay. But when you have the New York Post as a tabloid, and they will probably have a pretty clever and funny pun as a headline. I think my favorite pun headline was when Graham Taylor, who was manager of the English national team, contrived a way to keep them out of USA 94, much to my chagrin. I was really looking forward to seeing England after being my favorite team at Italia 90, too. And when they lost to Holland, the back page of the News of the World said, "You've done it again." Had like a 5-foot-high pile of diarrhea from a farm on it. Looks like maybe 100 cows took a poo and they made a pyramid. And then they superimposed his head at the top of it. And it said, "You've done it again." So Vrabel, he was asked if it was difficult to talk to his players. He said, "No, not difficult. I have to lead. I have to make sure that I address things, communicate that I do with each and everything that we do. We've got a great group of players. We're excited to teach." He just goes blah, 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 blah. So, as I said, he talked about it, but he didn't talk about it, and I don't care. It didn't look bad to me. But so he said, "I've addressed it," and everybody will go, "Okay, you didn't, but who cares?" All right. We have found J.D. Sharp from Pro Wagering, and J.D. is a professional prognosticator, and he will, you can contact him at sharp@mypicks.com if you have any questions about having a punt in the sporting world. J.D., just a couple minutes here. I'd like to get your thoughts on one of the most polarizing players in the draft on Thursday, and he will go in the first round at some point, because people won't be able to resist. But Ty Simpson, as we speak, is QB2 after Mendoza. Do you think he's a first-round talent, or is this just the draft and people will reach?
I think Ty Simpson compares favorably to Aaron Rodgers. Honestly, he doesn't have as strong of a lower body, but he's got great arm strength. He's actually pretty mobile. He's 6'2", 220. He played well at Bama. Now, a lot of Bama quarterbacks haven't been that good in the pros, obviously, but I think Ty Simpson has probably the most arm talent I've seen, more than Tua, more than Jalen Hurts, obviously more than A.J. McCarron. I think he has the most arm talent I've seen from a Bama quarterback since even Greg McElroy. So yeah, I think he's definitely a first-round quarterback. I think that he's probably the most underrated player in this draft, considering the fact that Fernando Mendoza is getting such hype as number one pick in the draft. I don't think Mendoza's that good. I've said that from day one. But also, how about Jordan Tyson? Everybody is starting to talk about Jordan Tyson. He did that amazing workout, showed his elite body control, his elite athleticism, his explosion off the line. If the Chiefs pick up Tyson at 9, they're going to have a chance to restart that dynasty. He is that good. He will be that good with Mahomes. But I'm glad that I've been saying that the Raiders should trade that pick. They do have interest in that pick, by the way, but they're not going to. I said they should trade that pick. They should draft Tyson somewhere in the top 10, and then they should draft Carson Beck in the second round. It looks like the Steelers might be the team, though, that's going to draft Tyson in the first and Carson Beck in the second. And if that happens, I think that's a great move, too.
One more question for you. QB3 is Garrett Nussmeier, of course, 4 years at LSU and threw for nearly 8,000 yards. His dad is the Saints offensive coordinator. He is a football guy, but Garrett Nussmeier, who at one point a couple of years ago people thought he might be the first quarterback chosen, a lot of people have kind of forgot about him. He's not the hot name, but he definitely will be a second-round pick. What do you think about Nussmeier?
He's got the on his spine.
Yeah.
That never helps anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, he was projected to be a top 5 pick before the last season, And now, granted, he played with some really good wide receivers, obviously. He played with Blake Neighbors. Nussmeier is, well, actually, that was Jaden Daniels. He played with Neighbors. But Nussmeier, 6'2", 220, didn't look very good in big games last year. Doesn't handle pressure very well. Now, maybe you could say that his back injury was hurting him. I don't see it. He doesn't really have the size. I don't think he really has the build. He's got a lot of arm. He's got a pretty good arm. I think he understands offenses. I think he understands how to play the game. Is he going to be a star in the NFL? I would say no. I think he's going to have more of like a Gardner Minshew type of career, maybe not even that. So he'll probably get drafted in the second or the third or the fourth round. I wouldn't wait to pick on him in the second, to be honest with you. I watched him against really good explosive defenses, and he just when you blitz him, he's not very good at getting out of that blitz, and you have to be very good at that in the NFL. So I get it. He'll get drafted definitely the first 2 days. But if I'm an NFL team, I understand he's probably going to be a lifetime backup, and I think I'm looking at him maybe fourth round plus.
There he is, JD Sharp. Once again, email him, sharp@betmypicks.com. Thanks, JD. Appreciate it.
Hey, thanks a lot, Rick.
All right, I'm Rick Tittle. Come on back on Sports Byline USA.
This important consumer alert is from the Credit Repair Hotline, a national service designed to help people improve their credit scores. Are you paying high interest rates because of your credit rating? Wouldn't you like to be able to qualify for a better car loan or mortgage rate? Would lower monthly payments give you more financial flexibility? If you're finally ready to fix your credit problem, you need to call today and get a free consultation from the Credit Repair Hotline. In one fast and easy call, we can pull your credit rating and show you real solutions how to improve your credit. And again, this is part of a 100% free consultation. Learn how you can save money on everyday purchases by having a better credit rating. And it all starts with this free phone call right now.
800-413-6214. 800-413-6214. 800-413-6214. That's 800-413-6214.
Listen up, guys. Are you experiencing any of the following? Fatigue, less drive, poor performance? If so, you may be one of the nearly 30 million men in the U.S. today dealing with ED. But did you know you don't have to pay hundreds for a prescription anymore? And you don't have to deal with the hassle of seeing the doctor or the embarrassment of going to the pharmacy for a certain pill. Now, with one free call, you can find out how Herbal Virility Max can help you feel like a man again. For over a decade, Herbal Virility Max has helped guys just like you put a smile back on their face with improved performance and drive. Call today and ask about our buy one, get one free offer.
800-690-8223. 800-690-8223. 800-690-8223. That's 800-690-8223.
Lower your car payment today. Lower your car payment today. Yes, you heard us right. You can lower your car payment right now by making this free call and save up to $1,400 a year on your current car payments. Think about your current car payment right now. What's that costing you per year? Now think about what it would be like to put an extra $1,400 back in your pocket. That's the average savings our customers experience. We can help you drive the same car and pay less every month by lowering your car payments interest rate to as low as 4.67%. At Rate Genius, we can work with you to refinance any car payment. If you qualify, it costs you nothing to find out how you can lower your car payment. To learn more, call this number right now.
800-832-2816. 800-832-2816. 800-832-2816. That's 800-832-2816.
I'm not insightful enough to be a movie critic. Maybe I could be a food critic. These muffins taste bad. Or an art critic. That painting is bad.
I'm so disgusted by Rick Tittle that I find him very intoxicating.
All right, thanks for that. I think welcome back to the show. Rick Tittle with you, coast to coast and around the world on the American Forces Radio Network. It's our pleasure to welcome to the show Josh Shaw. He is the operating partner of Topspin, and he is here on behalf of a company entitled Mission. They are a performance lifestyle brand known for its patented cooling and temperature control apparel, and Josh would like to talk about its latest innovation, the Max Plus Yoga Towel. Josh, welcome to the show, and I was just thinking, you know, yoga, it's a towel or it's a mat. You guys combined it, and no one ever thought of that before. Tell us a little bit more, please.
Well, thanks for having me. I'm happy to be here today and great to connect with you. It's an honor. Congrats on your show's success.
Thank you.
So I'll tell you a little bit about Mission. I founded the company in 2008. Frankly, our vision then and remains our vision now. We are the global leader in instant cooling solutions for anyone that lives, works, and plays in the heat. And what started as a passion project and labor of love for me with a number of world-class athletes, Serena Williams, Dwayne Wade, Drew Brees, quickly became evident that the world is dealing with the devastating effects of heat health and heat safety, and is what's relevant for them is relevant for the everyday consumer. And so today we proudly serve millions of people around the U.S. and globally with heat health and safety solutions. Mission Cooling is sold in over 30,000 doors in the U.S., and we have everything from instant cooling towels to cooling hats to, as you just said, a cooling yoga towel that is designed for you.
So, by the way, when you were thinking of the name of the company, did you come up with like a mission statement and then go, wait, there it is right there, mission statement?
That's a great question. I get on occasion. I didn't have a name when I first started, and I met with my first three athletes was Alonzo Mourning, Mia Hamm, Steve Nash. And I came out of those three meetings, and I said, we have named the company Mission. These athletes are built differently. They're on a mission to do greater, not just in their sport, but outside. And it stuck, and we went with the name Mission, and it's been that since.
So take me through the technology, because, you know, over the years we'll maybe buy a hoodie that says moisture wicking, and then it will show like a scientific chart, and I'm like, it just feels like a cotton hoodie. What are most of us missing when you guys do the research on all this?
Such a great question, too. I'm glad you asked it. You know, it's unfortunate because it's almost false advertising, the way the well-known brands out there, who I won't name, promote cooling when it's not really cooling. It's wicking and moving moisture around the fabric. That's not what we do at Mission Cooling. We are built on evaporative cooling technology. We have a line of patents that are all predicated on the science behind evaporative cooling, which means, scientifically, if you can slow the evaporative process, there's a temperature drop in the textile. That's what our entire portfolio is built on. So our towels, our hats, our sleeves, and yes, our yoga towel, all physically drop in temperature. The textile drops from ambient down to about 58 degrees and stays there for 2 hours. As long as you have moisture and air present on the fabric temperature drops roughly 30 degrees for 2 hours.
It's very interesting, too, and I was thinking nowadays, everyone, I shouldn't say everyone's a prima donna, but you'll put out a mat and they'll be like, well, what are the chemicals? Is it odor-free? Is it, well, I have sensitive skin. Can I wash this in my how durable is it? Like, you have to please a million different things, right?
Love it. Yeah, we are everything you just said. Surprisingly, no wires, no batteries, no chemicals, no topical treatments. Our technology is literally the weave of the fiber, machine washable, and lasts as long as the life of the garment. And so you're not putting chemicals on your face. It's not going to wash out in 5 washes. It's not going to dry brittle like the Frog Pod. There's a bunch of knockoffs out there that are just lesser technologies. We are the best in class, no chemical-free, machine washable, and last frankly too long. We last years.
I think a lot of people listening to this going, yeah, what is this, $300? $40. I like it.
Yeah, that's the yoga towel. You can get down to $20, and frankly, you can get even lower. One of our best retail partners is the Home Depot. We like to call them the industrial athletes, the folks that are on the roof, in the garden, in the yard, working day in and day out on the job site, and frankly, battle the heat as much, if not more, than some of our elite athletes. And we are a premium price in the very accessible market. So for $20, you have a portable air conditioner that you can bring to any job site, any ballpark, any Disney ride, put water on it, ring it out and activate it, and you've got a portable air conditioner in your pocket.
You know, I got to say it's genius getting anything in the Home Depot because I think sometimes people just feel like they're on a shopping spree, and it's just 3 of those, 5 of those, 1 of those. That's not bad. All right, let's talk about the clothing as well, and the shirts, the hats. Tell us about the other items you offer.
Sure. So first, let me say that the vast majority of the products we put in market are predicated on the evaporative cooling, which I described earlier, which simply require moisture and air to be present to drop the temperature 30 degrees. So literally, your body's running in the high 90s, and you have a 58-degree towel around your neck or a 58, 60-degree hat on your head. It feels incredible, whether you're on a job site or in the field or at the beach. The apparel is something we've been working on for many years, and frankly came out of necessity. They always say invention, necessity is invention is the mother of necessity, or innovation. I always mix that up, but you know what I'm saying.
Necessity is the mother of invention, yes.
There you have it.
Yeah.
Necessity is the mother of invention. And so about 4 years ago, the president of UPS contacted us and said, hey, we'd love to partner with you. You're the global leader in instant cooling solutions, and we have 350,000 drivers that are battling the heat every day in that truck and in the driveways delivering packages. Can we collaborate? And we got together. We built a comprehensive kind of 360 program from training to development all the way through to customized accessories for their drivers. And I'm proud to say the team at Mission knocked it out of the park. They're down 75% in heat-related injuries and related outages of their staff. I say that because it led to us getting into the apparel space. And so if you can design a smarter shirt that's priced the same or less, frankly, than Lululemon, Nike, Rowan, and the other guys in the market, just as comfortable, just as sleek, just as effective, but better because it also brings cooling into the equation, you win. And that's what we did. And so today we offer all 350,000 UPS drivers with hats, sleeves, and towels. And the evolution of our apparel really started from their request for us to design polos and shirts for their staff. And now we're bringing it to the athletic community today.
And then finally, what's it like when you hear from people who not just say, hey, I like the product, but they say, like, this changed everything for me? That kind of, you start any business to be financially successful, but what's it like when you're actually helping people?
Another good one. When you hear from Dwayne Wade or Serena Williams or Drew Brees or any of these elite athletes that it's making a difference, you become a believer. And you see the results when they use it on the sideline or in the game. When you go out into the wilderness, we call it Mission in the Wild, and you see people, everyday consumers wearing them. I was just away recently and quite literally saw 6 different people in 6 different instances, from a Delta Airlines worker on the tarmac to a person online for food to someone on the beach to someone running wearing the Mission brand. A, you're making a difference in the world, and B, it matters. That people actually care about their heat, health, and safety.
All right, where do we go to find out more and get some of this?
Great. Come to mission.com. You can obviously go in store to Home Depot. You can go to Dick's Sporting Goods, Academy, Walmart, and of course Amazon. And I'll just take one more second to share with you, after 4 years of blood, sweat, and tears, we're rolling out our newest technology called EnduraCool Plus. We're doing a soft launch this year. This product lasts 8 hours, 4 times longer than our previous technology, and so takes less reactivation. So the way the product works, any product in our portfolio, you just have to re-wet it to reactivate the cooling property. This one lasts 8 hours, and we're super excited about that.
There he is, the operating partner of Topspin. It's Josh Shaw for Mission and all the innovation they have going on there. Beneficial to you and affordable as well. Josh, thanks for your time. We appreciate it.
Real pleasure talking to you. Thanks for having me.
All right. You know, when the old PCL, the Pacific Coast League, which was like a major league back in the day, a lot of people talk about the San Francisco Seals, but there was also a team called the San Francisco Missions. That's right. And now Missions are, of course, seen as terribly imperious and genocidal and such things. But back then, they were the Missions. Just thought I'd bring that up. All right, when we come back, Dad Chaniels. That's right.
Who's watching? Tell me who's watching? Who's watching me? I always feel like somebody's watching me, and I have no privacy. I always feel like somebody's watching me. Tell me, is it just a dream? When I come home at night, I roll the door.
You bought an RV, and you got an automatic discount from Progressive by bundling it with your home or auto insurance. That's great, but a serious word of warning every RVer should heed. You don't need to talk about things like dry weight or dump stations. And you don't need one of those expensive water filter straws either. Because the most extreme thing most RVers encounter is a campsite without hookups. So just enjoy yourself and Progressive's automatic discount when you bundle your RV, boat, or motorcycle with your home or auto insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states or situations.
At Kohl's, spring style starts with the season's best shoe sale and continues with 15% off the rest of your looks. But with great outfits from Kohl's, what happens next is unexpected. Strangers ask where you shop. The breeze feels like it's blowing just for you. Your kids post for photos willingly. Yep, great spring outfits can do that kind of thing. Find yours at Kohl's and Kohl's.com. Select styles, offers end April 26th. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
Do you want to add a boost to your sex life this weekend? Do you want to make your partner and yourself happy? Then call our special hotline now. We'll sell you those little pills that work below the belt for less than $1 a pill and deliver your package in a few days, just in time for the weekend. Our pill delivers almost the same results as expensive pills for less than $1 a piece, and you don't need a prescription. And ask about their buy 3 get 3 free offer. What are you waiting for? Boost your sex life and have a great time now. Less than $1 a pill, discreet delivery in a few days, and a buy 3 get 3 free offer? Dial this number and save it now.
800-245-2751. 800-245-2751. 800-245-2751. That's 800-245-2751. Paid for by the Pharmacy Shop.
Have you suffered sports betting losses? There is someone who wants to fight for you to see you get back what you have lost to those sports betting companies. Michael Watts is a prolific trial lawyer with over $11 billion in total recoveries for his clients. And now with SportsBettingClaim.com, he'd like to help you. Michael has been a leader in some of the largest and most complex cases in the country, from defective cars and tires to damaging drugs and medical products. He has always represented the rights of individuals harmed by large corporations. His efforts recently resulted in the recovery of billions for individuals who lost their properties to fires carelessly caused by electric companies and others. Michael knows that sports betting companies preyed on and manipulated consumers into losing their life savings, and he wants to make them pay. If you have suffered financial hardship as a result of online sports betting and would like help seeking compensation, please submit your claim information for evaluation at sportsbettingclaim.com. Michael Watts is focused on winning for you. sportsbettingclaim.com.
Come after me! I'm a man! I'm 40! You take them all, the man. And put him in control. Watch him become a god. Watch people's heads roll.
don't ask Rick Tittle to bring it, because it already done got brought.
Thanks for that. Welcome back to the show. Rick Tittle with you, coast to coast and around the world on American Forces Network. If you see a stand-up comedian with a tiger tattoo on one arm, a flamingo on another, and a twinkle in his eye, it is our friend Chad Daniels getting ready for a run at the Punchline in Sac Thursday, 2 shows on Friday and Saturday as well. And then coming here to Cobb's Comedy Club with a special Sunday night before he gets out of Dodge. Chad, welcome back to the show. And first of all, I got to say congratulations. You and Kelsey got engaged, right?
We did, yeah. Thanks for having me back. Yeah, got engaged. And, listen, I'm 51. So when I tell people I have a fiance, I get kind of a head tilt, but that's okay.
You know what? It's, and by the way, we're talking about Kelsey Cook, who's also been in studio here, very, very funny comedian. The last time and I've seen you many times over the years, the last time I saw you, which was last year, that was the funniest I've ever, and you're always great, but I literally was dying. And it's one of those shows where I kept thinking, I got to remember that line, and there were so many of them. You were murdering that night.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, it's interesting because I think a lot of people that come to my shows know me from my kids growing up and my stories about that, but now they're out of the house. My son's 26, my daughter's 22, and so I don't have, I have like maybe one story about each of them, and the rest is just complete insanity of what I've wanted to say when they were younger, but couldn't in case they saw it.
I remember, I'm going to butcher this, but something like when they said, isn't it hard taking your daughter to college? And you're like, you opened the door and kicked her out.
Oh, yeah. Dude, I got to tell you this. This is a true story. So I go out to see her. She's going to school in California. And I go out to see her, and the washing machine and the dryer broke in their house. And she has 5 roommates. So they all have to go and bring their clothes to the laundromat. And 4 of the girls, all of her roommates, are trying to figure out how to stack clothes as high as they can on their hamper, but they keep falling in the yard. And my daughter and I are on the porch, and she looks at me and she goes, well, you can tell a couple of those girls never had to go back and forth between a mom's house and a dad's house.
Oh.
And I laughed for about 45 minutes.
That's a good line.
Just to think, like, who knows, But, it seems like it could be detrimental, but it was actually great training.
Yes. No, that's a good line. By the way, I know you're from small town Minnesota, and I looked up Fergus Falls, and I was thinking, are you the most famous person from Fergus Falls? There was if you were my dad's age, Frank Albertson was in a million movies, and I think people would recognize his face. But I'm going to go ahead and say you're the second most famous, because you know who Dave Thurer is?
Dave Thurer, I don't know who that is.
Dave Thurer is from Fergus Falls. He invented Missile Command and Tempest video games.
Really?
Stallion.
Whoa, I didn't know that. I've never even heard that. I've heard of the actor dude, and then now there's this kid, Chris Tungsteth, who's on American Idol. It's like in the top 7 or something. And I know him from the golf course. So, I mean, it's like I'm sliding down this list.
Wow. Well, actually, now that I look at it, on the way to a fireworks display in 1983, he used his Porsche to chase down a hit and run driver, and he severed his spine and was paralyzed from the waist down. Live.
The guy that invented the video games?
I guess so. I shouldn't laugh. Live radio. Sorry. Maybe they shouldn't give me a show if I'm doing this on the fly.
Dave Thurer. Well, he's also the only guy from Ferguson with a Porsche.
Where you live, are you still, you're still in land at 10,000, right?
Yeah, I just moved down to Minneapolis. It was a tough sell getting Kelsey to come here because of the winters, and so I at least had to offer her a city.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you have to have, like, 4-wheel drive truck when you live up there, right?
Yeah, well, I have an all-wheel. I have an SUV, so when I to the golf course that's full of pickup trucks, everyone's like, oh, glad you could make the tea time. I see you just dropped your kids off at soccer. I get a lot of that.
They're just jay.
I think so. I think that they wish they had a topper on their truck so they could transport more things.
So, did you just did the new special at Acme? Was that like last month?
So I did I did one in Salt Lake City.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so that is just coming together. I was actually just looking at it because I needed them to. I'm having my daughter announce me, so they had to switch the audio out. Okay. And now that I've confirmed that they have, we can lock it. So that should be coming out sometime in the next couple months, I would think.
And by the way, I'm going non sequitur here. You look like an absolutely completely different person without the beard, but I've only known you with the beard, I think. Are you ever tempted to go back to the old days hairless?
I'm not hairless. I'm tempted to go stubble. But what I have done, have you ever seen somebody that's just worn sweatpants for 3 months? Right? There's nothing keeping them in shape because the pants always fit.
Right.
And so I think that's what I've done to my below my chin. I'm a little nervous to go stubble because I think I'm going to have a nice little neck pillow down there.
By the way, you let me throw this at you because I'm a little bit older than you, but I think we're in the same generation. I have a friend who's so obese, not like he's going to get his own show obese, but he's like he's like 3 bills, and he at a funeral and at a wedding he wore a sport coat, but the pants were black Adidas sweats with white stripes, and I wanted to say so badly, they make fat guy pants, but I didn't go there because I felt he probably felt humiliated enough as it is. Because I think if you show up in sweats, you're like, look, this is it. But if you take the time to put on a coat and tie, like fat guy coat and tie, like Oliver Hardy, should I have said something about the sweats or just leave it?
I mean, I think it depends on how good of a friend you are.
He's a pretty good friend.
If you are a good, okay, then I think you go, hey, dude, just so you know, this kind of looks weird. They do have slacks, and I like to use the word slacks. They have slacks with an elastic waistband.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to tell you something else. Those Adidas pants with the stripes, they're like a nylon blend, and those catch smells. They catch smells. And bigger people sometimes don't know. Right? It's like I have trouble at a hotel turning sometimes and reaching where they put the toilet paper.
Mm-hmm.
And so if I were bigger, I think I'd have even more of a problem. So I guess I don't know. If I were, help them out.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that too, reaching, because about a month ago, I went skiing. I'm 60. I went skiing. Everything was fine. And then I turned to grab a shirt out of the closet and popped my back. And for 2 weeks, my back was killing me. And I thought, are those related, or is that just old man stuff?
I think that has to be related. I think it sets you up, right? Because when you're skiing, let me take a step back. I have a fake hip. And before I got this hip replacement, my muscles were off because I had to kind of walk with a different gait. And I remember playing basketball, getting a rebound and slapping the ball, and it took me down. I had to actually use my arms to drag myself off the court. It was very embarrassing. And I think that it's all those little support muscles get tired, and then you just turn weird, and it's all hell breaks loose.
Wow. By the way, as I'm leaning on Wikipedia today, like you're a total stranger, but you're not, but I'm just going for tidbits. Notable alumni from Fergus Falls High School, all politicians, and you. So, did you let it? I don't know if you know. Well, a lot of them were in the 19th century. The closest one for you was Jordan Rasmussen, who's part of the Minnesota Senate.
Yeah, I know the name Jordan Rasmussen for sure. I didn't know he was from Fergus Falls. Didn't know he went to Fergus Falls High School.
You know what?
I think there are one or two people that attack these Wikipedia pages, and they go absolutely crazy. And they're just like, oh, Chad's not on here. We got to make sure he's on there. I mean, it's a weird deal because I'm not even in the Fergus Falls High School Hall of Fame.
Wow. Well, you know what? They're just haters. Because my alma mater, I went to St. Mary's College, and I told a story, but a couple of years ago, a guy said, hey, you're not in the notable alumni. Can I add you? And I'm like, yeah, go ahead. And then 2 weeks later, he goes, I put you in, and then it got removed. And I'm like, don't fight. I go, don't fight it. But I go, who took the time to be like, this guy's not famous enough to be notable? And then I was like, oh, sorry. And then I thought, look, if it was all presidents, I get it. But it was like, someone who's like a lawyer,
right.
a venture capitalist. And I'm like, I had a syndicated show over 20 years. I did A's and Raider games, and the lawyer. And I'm like, you know what? Somebody is just jelly. That's what I'm thinking.
Well, it seems to me that one Rick Tittle made love to somebody's girlfriend at St. Mary's.
Well, it was an all-boys school. So,
okay, I got to regroup and think of a different thing.
You got to take a step back on that one.
Yeah, I'd say so.
All right, Chad, the Punchline, a great room. I've seen. In fact, I accosted you once. You were bringing in boxes of merch. You had like 3 huge boxes of shirts, and I insisted on shaking your hand. That's a great room. You'll be there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then, as I mentioned, how nice. Drive south an hour and do Cobb's Sunday at 7.
Yeah, I'm very excited for that. It's always a fun time up in that area. Sacramento's good, and it's completely different than San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just it's fun to get to shift gears just an hour south. So I'm looking forward to all of it.
Anyway, thanks for coming on, and congrats to you guys because she's a lovely girl, as you know, and she's also hilarious like you. So you guys make a great couple.
I appreciate that, truly, and thanks a lot for always having me on. It's very nice of you.
All right, good stuff. I'm Rick Tittle. We'll take a quick break. We will come on back on Sports Byline.
Lower your car payment today. Lower your car payment today. Yes, you heard us right. You can lower your car payment right now by making this free call and save up to $1,400 a year on your current car payments. Think about your current car payment right now. What's that costing you per year? Now think about what it would be like to put an extra $1,400 back in your pocket. That's the average savings our customers experience. We can help you drive the same car and pay less every month by lowering your car payment's interest rate to as low as 4.67%. At Rate Genius, we can work with you to refinance any car payment. If you qualify, it costs you nothing to find out how you can lower your car payment. To learn more, call this number right now.
800-832-2816. 800-832-2816. 800-832-2816. That's 800-832-2816.
I am an American veteran. I'm proud to have served this country. Helping veterans is something all Americans can participate in, and it's as simple as donating an old car that you have sitting around. When you call the Veteran Car Donation Program, they'll explain how their program works, and then arrange a time they can come and pick up your vehicle for free. Running or not, it doesn't matter. They take cars, trucks, motorcycles, or vans. Show your support by donating your car and get a tax deduction in the process. Call the Veteran Car Donation Program right now. They'll come and pick your car up for free, and you'll get a tax deduction in the process. Call the number we're about to give you right now. Thank you, and God bless America.
800-887-1097. 800-887-1097. 800-887-1097. That's 800-887-1097.
This important consumer alert is from the Credit Repair Hotline, a national service designed to help people improve their credit scores. Are you paying high interest rates because of your credit rating? Wouldn't you like to be able to qualify for a better car loan or mortgage rate? Would lower monthly payments give you more financial flexibility? If you're finally ready to fix your credit problem, you need to call today and get a free consultation from the Credit Repair Hotline. In one fast and easy call, we can pull your credit rating and show you real solutions how to improve your credit. And again, this is part of a 100% free consultation. Learn how you can save money on everyday purchases by having a better credit rating. And it all starts with this free phone call right now.
800-413-6214. 800-413-6214. 800-413-6214. That's 800-413-6214.
I'm a pretty normal guy. I do one weird thing. I like to go in the women's room for number 2. I've been caught several times, and I have paid dearly.
Rick Tittle never eats beef jerky during any month that ends in November.
Thank you for that. A couple minutes left in the show. And speaking of Minnesota, Justin Jefferson chimed in yesterday at one of those Vikings off-season programs, and they said, hey, how about Kyler Murray and J.J. McCarthy? J.J. Jefferson played for the Chargers. You kind of thought he'd say, like, hey, great competition, welcome it. No, Justin Jefferson said, I'm definitely looking forward to those big, exciting plays from Kyler. I'm definitely looking forward to his speed, his quickness, his arm strength that he's shown countless times over the years. I said, what about JJ? He goes, well, for JJ, for somebody to enter that room with that type of ability, that type of talent, he's got to step it up a bit. So it's good for him to feel that pressure and to really lock in a little bit and say it's either now or I'm going to take that back seat again. So it's all a competitive mindset when it comes to those type of things. So it's about who's ready for that moment and who's ready to step up and take that initiative. I love the honesty. By the way, Murray is on a 1-year deal, and Kevin O'Connell, the head coach, was asked about who the starter is, and he said there's no way he's going to discuss that in April. So he's leaving it open. For sure. Why would you? And so there has been some off-season plans of where people can throw together, and just that would be the kind of the thing too, where if you're J.J. McCarthy and then you find out that Kyler Murray and Justin Jefferson have had an off-season throwing program, and you're like, what about me? But once again, I'll just throw this stat at you. Most accurate quarterback in NCAA football comes to the NFL, least accurate quarterback. So you try and draft guys. We're going to do it on Thursday. Come on back. We'll talk about